My one shot.
It was your one shot, and you blew it.
And when we're live. So there.
No.
Anyway. Welcome to my older sister's birthday. And
really?
when we're live.
My brother's is tomorrow.
This is about me, not you.
It's always about you.
Yeah. Here.
Tonight's bang is Rainbow Unicorn. For all your Rainbow Unicorn flavor needs. That's fresh unicorn. What's the game you got in front of you there, Richard?
Hello.
What's the game in front of you, Richard?
Oh, this is the Magnificent.
The Magnificent what?
The Magnificent. That's the beginning and end of it. It is the latest game from the designers of Santa Maria and Avenue.
Well, we appreciate your opinion on the game, but what's the actual name of the game?
Oh, who's on first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I told this story before, but when we bought our house, my wife and I, like they said, okay, well, the bank person said, okay, well, we'll meet you down at the title company. And I was just like, oh, okay. So it's downtown. Great. What's the name of it? They're like, the title company. Yes, the name. The title company. Yes. What's the name? And the place was like actually called the Title Company. So I was like, for about a minute and a half, I was stuck in my own Abbott and Costello little shindig, and I had to believe I wasn't the only person that ever
I don't imagine you were
had that issue.
Nor will you be the last.
Keith, are you gonna be the guy for our first to see how many Essen games we can get through?
There's no Essen Games for delivery to me that I want. There's 162 titles on the Cardboard Caravan, and I don't think I want any of them.
Sounds like you need to talk to whatchamadick. You got to talk to Aldi.
I did.
Get some different ones up there.
Well, I don't know if what he told me I can say, so I'm not going to say it on here.
Well, you should type it then.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, in our secret chat.
Aloud, Lance will give you the thumb up or the thumb down.
Secret chat. I got my copy of Predator today.
I got my copy of Paladins of the West Kingdom today.
My Paladins comes tomorrow. I haven't seen anything of my Paladins.
I don't think I've seen any information about my Paladins of the West Kingdom for the delivery yet. But
I will say I got tracking on Monday and it showed up today. So it was quick
email
turnaround.
With your tracking comes from Gamerati.
Gamerati, correct. Gamerati.
Gamerati.
Yep.
Oh, let's just maybe I got it and I didn't see it. Hold on.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I had to double check it. I didn't realize Gamerati was doing the fulfillment. I've never heard of them before, so it was a surprise. So it's possible last week I got early tracking info and just deleted it thinking it was spam because I'd never heard of Gamerati before.
Yep. Nope. Nothing. I haven't gotten anything.
It should be soon though. Like I said, I just got mine today. Keith's getting his tomorrow. I'm sure they're fulfilling at a pretty good pace.
Yeah. Well, I had a thing where I was like, I got an email from an RPG and they were like, oh, hey, by the way, the PDF is available, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, great. Where's my copy of like the printed book and everything like that? And I was like searching and they're like, all the backers should have gotten their information about delivery. And I was just like, where? Oh, I'm just digging through my email. Can't find it anywhere. I'm like, I'm going to go to the Kickstarter page. I'm going to send them a message. I'm going to ask, oh, I didn't back it. Oh, well, there. That's for, I was getting ready to, 2-finger type an angry letter. And no, I forgot to back it. It was one of those that just like, I probably hit the reminder and I just didn't bother. So
there you go.
My bad.
Always ready to blame somebody else.
Well, I mean, it's usually my fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let me see here. Kickstarter.com. Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I saw a couple reviews that said that the box was jam-packed and it was a lot smaller than they expected. And I didn't think much of it until I got the game and realized, holy crap, like you literally can't sleeve the cards. You literally can't put any like, I don't know if you could even make an insert that would fit with the components. Like, it literally is beaming at the brim to just fit the contents of the game in. Even in the punchboard sheets, the lid doesn't close all the way. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to manage to sort this and organize it so that it's not a hell to set up. But they chose a very odd, smaller size box, which was very odd to me. This could easily fit in a
Shall we do
normal
an
size.
unboxing?
Huh? I can show you guys the box. I mean, you probably you already have it, right, Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a tiny, tiny box. At least mine was.
Well, that's the standard size of all their games coming.
I know, but it's like that game is too big for that box.
Which is surprising because it's mostly a card game.
You would think, but it's got a bunch of boards, and it is jam-packed. Like, when you open that box, there is very little room to breathe, and I actually also had the metal coin add-on that also has to fit in there. Yeah, look at that. Look at that baby.
Is that the same size box as Seven Wonders Duel?
I'm not sure.
No, it's bigger than that. Seven Wonders Duel. That's like the Cosmos.
It's the same
size,
as like
right?
Raiders of the North Sea, right? All those games.
Yeah, it's an unusual size. Like,
it's not normal. Like if you compared it to like a Ticket to Ride or the standard Fantasy Flight size box, it is considerably smaller and thinner. But there's a ton of stuff in there. So I wonder once everything's punched how it will fit back in the box. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe
on the Alaboom.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go. But it is a tight fit. Mine was packed to the brim. Is that a Kickstarter version as well, Rado?
What's that?
Yours is a Kickstarter version as well, the full Kickstarter?
Oh no, they sent it to me without telling me they were sending it, so I don't know what it is.
Okay, right.
I covered it when it was on Kickstarter, and
probably is then. But mine, the only difference,
there's a separate thing of metal coins.
Yes, those also have to fit in the bag somehow. Box.
Wow.
So when I got here, I was going to say something about Predaporter, and the thing is I got mine, and everything inside is great except like there's one corner of the box that is like, it's like they dropped it right on that corner from like a good 6 feet up, and it's all just bashed and split, and I'm like, do I care enough to send an email? It's like, I don't know. I haven't yet. Do you think I should?
Since people went from Peanuts, every other game I get has a ding somewhere on it.
Yeah.
Well, if it was just a little ding, I wouldn't care. But this is like, it's basically like it instead of a point, it's like got a smooshed in, and like the top box lid and the bottom box lid are split. You know, so it's like, and I was just looking at it, and I was just kind of like, if it was just like a little tiny, like poke or something like that, or like a crease on the top cover, I'd be like, who cares? But it's like the entire corner.
Did you get a ship notice for that before it came?
What?
Did you get a shipping notice for that game before they
for
shipped?
Predaporter?
Yes,
I got
notice
nothing.
From Gamerati, which came out of the blue. I had no idea what it was.
No, I was talking about the Predaporter because I haven't seen anything about my Predaporter, and it doesn't look like it's on the way yet.
I did not back that one. I'm still waiting on a bunch of stuff, though. It seems like a lot of stuff stalled that looked like it was going to get fulfilled in this month and last month. Seems like it kind of stalled out a little bit for a while. Things were rocking and things were coming in on time, and then like hit a wall where like the next 6 games I'm getting, I don't know if I'll even see this year.
I got this beast last week.
There is no air in this box.
I told you.
After punching the 2 things, it all fits just barely.
And that's unsleeved, correct? Just straight.
Oh yeah, I didn't take but I bet you it'd probably be fine to sleeve them.
Yeah, you just have to be real.
How much does sleeving add? Like another 20%?
The thick sleeves doubles it, but if you do the thin sleeves, about 20-25%. Then
you'd be fine. It'd be close. It'd be tight. It'd be tight.
I don't think you could fit an insert in there though. Like I don't see an insert working for that game. I think it'd take up too much space. Mm-hmm.
No, in fact, actually, the box isn't quite shutting.
It won't shut. Well, I couldn't get mine to shut properly with the coins in there.
Okay, it's not going to shut all the way if you keep both sets of coins, because I have the metal coins and the original coins in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is on the hairy edge.
Well,
It's a good game.
Nuts.
I can't wait to try it out. I'm gonna play it this weekend, but yeah, I was quite shocked. It's a pet peeve of mine to not close the box all the way, so it's irritating that without even doing anything to the game,
Yeah, especially since
it's
the
already
bottom
like
is
that.
white, so you really see if it doesn't shut all the way.
Yeah.
You see that big white line.
I mean, I'm glad they chock full so much stuff. I just wish they'd went one box size bigger.
Yeah, this could easily be a Ticket to Ride size box.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why. I mean,
Yeah.
is it cheaper to do a box?
Well, that's
this
what
way?
I don't
would think it's
get.
cheaper to do a standard size, right?
Go ahead, Lance. You got your hand up.
Lance, do you have anything to say on that topic?
Usually if you go with a smaller box, it's gonna like everything is gonna weigh less because like it's just basically like when you ship it, like if you're allowing for an inch on each side, the outside cardboard box like that can add up to a pound sometimes, and sometimes that pound is like the thing that clicks you. I don't know how many times I've had to give an estimate to somebody who are like just over a threshold, and it's going to cost you an extra like $3.50 per game. And
But
you're just like, how can we? Is there something you can do that you can like we can work and get it down below this threshold and things
But
like
don't
that.
you think that smaller box size will hurt sales? And only because a lot of people associate the value of a product based by how much content they think they're getting. And even though that thing is chocked full and has just as much content as a game in a bigger box on the shelf, seeing a $60 or $70 price tag on a box that small, people are automatically going to think it's overpriced. I mean, that's the first thing that's going to hit them in the head.
I would agree to a certain extent. However, and this is just me, my gut feeling, and I have no figures to back this up whatsoever. I think that Shem's line of games, I think the vast majority of them, the vast majority of the games that he sells are through Kickstarter anyway. And
that's true. That's true. They already know what they're getting.
Yeah, they already know what they're getting. And at this point, he's a proven commodity, and he knows as soon as he hits with his next game, he's got 5,000 backers waiting to give him.
That's a fair point. His Raiders series didn't get hurt from the smaller.
I mean, Renegade's carrying all of his stuff now. I'd say more U.S. sales are coming there.
I'm sure they will.
I'm
sure Renegade has a top of the line marketing process. I mean, there's certain people, and I think Shem's one of them. There's certain people that are able to, they're able to transcend that, right? I mean, with the name and the reputation. I mean,
and
there's
the
just
art.
certain, and the art, the design company, things like that. So there you go. But I mean, So I mean, I think he's fine, and and I do like the fact that I have all of his games, and they are, they're all like lined up, and they're all the same size, and they all have the same art. I mean, there is a presence to that,
aesthetic to it. When I had the 3 Raiders games, they looked really cool with the side box graphics all like that, but this one's the first one that I've actually had the problem where the box barely would close, if it would even close, without even a single expansion. Like the first time they printed an expansion for this game, you have to have 2 boxes. There's no way you're fitting it in there unless it's like a single card expansion. I'm just surprised because all the other games didn't have that same problem.
But when he did the expansions for Raiders of the North Sea, they came out with the bigger box too.
Ooh, now that would be nice.
See, because my Raiders of the North Sea is now.
Is that the expansion box? Or did we just lose Keith?
He's so excited. He's stuck in place.
He must have yanked his cord.
Pete, Chad Roberts sent you a message about sharks or something.
Is that expansion box, or is that a new reprint of the base box?
No, it came with one of the expansions on Kickstarter.
Okay. Wow. Chad, Pete, I don't know if you're reading chat. I left you a message on the Shark channel. Oh, thank you, Chad. I'll check it out right now.
Sharks.
Ooh, new Reaper Bones sharks? Okay, and an alligator. That's actually really cool. Well, that one looks like Bruce. Man, I have never backed a Bones Kickstarter. Now they're going to make me do it for this.
Don't do it.
I'll have to see if I can just back for those specific minis. There's like 3 of them I'd like to get. There's 2 sharks and an alligator I would probably buy, but that's all I'd want. Indeed. I will take a look at that. Thank you, Chad. for letting me know about that and making me spend more money. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm not backing the most recent Bones Kickstarter. I won't even look at it.
Well, if they don't let me individually pick figures, I won't be backing it either. I'll just look for someone who backs it and see if I can buy those shark minis and the alligator mini off of them.
Yeah, all right. So we're burning daylight, so to speak, so we should probably dive into the Essen list. But I played Paradise New Eden. I was excited to play that, and that was a good game.
Yes, it's very good.
I enjoyed it. I would strongly suggest, if that's what if you're thinking about that. So but yeah, it's I don't recognize the designer names. Did you by any chance, Richard?
I think Ludovic Malblanc is one of them, isn't he? And he's been around forever. He's part of the whole Bruno Cathala French designer cabal.
Oh yeah, they wear their costumes and meet in secret enclave.
Exactly, yeah. They are a gamer Illuminati, and I think he's co-designing with a first timer though, if I recall correctly. But yeah, it's really good.
I love the art in that one.
Oh gosh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done a bit more to try to bring the theme through. I hate the whole stupid, we can't be bothered to give anything names. You could put them in the freaking manual. The manual's in English. I mean, you just solve events. Well, can't they be plagues and floods and stuff as opposed to just events? But that's really my only complaint is they missed a trick on weaving the theme in a bit more because it's a cool theme that I really like. But
fair enough. Anybody else play anything?
I played about 10 games last weekend because I had a bunch of people over. So yes, I could probably go on for about 30 minutes on everything I played.
Well, how about you pick like the two best gaming experiences? Not necessarily the games, but the two best gaming experiences.
All right. Number one, Cold Water Crown. Finally got to play that with the Deep Sea expansion. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Matter of fact, the group that I played it with, we did it on the Friday night before the game day. I usually hold a game day every quarter, and I had a few people come in from out of town, so they came over Friday night. We were supposed to play 3 different games. We ended up playing Cold Water Crowns 3 times in a row. The first 2 without the expansion, and then the third one with the Deep Sea expansion. Absolutely loved the game. It was great. And then second would probably be it'd be close. We played Outer Rim and Tapestry. I enjoyed both games. Both of them ran around 2 hours. I had a lot of fun. But Tapestry is the new hotness, so I'll probably go with Tapestry. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was what I expected it to be. I think the hype was so high that it'd be impossible to meet that hype, but it was a good, solid game. I'm glad I bought it.
Very cool.
Excellent.
What about you, Keith? You play anything?
I haven't played anything for a good bit. I was supposed to play tonight, and everybody canceled. So
those jerks,
sons of bitches.
So I don't think I tried a couple of things out, but I haven't played for real for 2 weeks ago. I played Tapestry. That was the last thing I played.
What did you think of it, Keith?
I like it. Boy, it seems like a lot of the different cultures, whatever you want to call the factions, they're not all created equal. How's that?
No, there's definitely a balance issue in the game, and I think you mismatch the wrong tapestries and you'll almost have no chance of winning. No, I did see that.
The guy that won his was just brutal. He got to just copy somebody's tapestry card every turn.
Yep.
And it was just ridiculous. And he lagged behind the whole game. At the end, he just goes and just blew up the score. But I mean, we had 3 people that were competitive even with that, and just one person was 100 points behind.
We had a similar situation. I was 122 points behind going into and I was the last one to finish up, and I ended up only losing by 6 points. So I scored like 118 or 116 points in that last round and blew past everybody except the leader. I was like 4 or 5 shy of the lead. So it's interesting, and they all thought that the other guy had it in the bag, and then as they started creeping up, they're like, "Oh, maybe this will be close." But I was like one resource shy of being able to take the win, and it was fun. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I definitely think there's going to be some tweaking going on. I think as the game gets more reports and they start getting more feedback as to the different things, I think they'll have to do some balancing corrections. But otherwise, I think the game is a pretty solid game. I think it's going to be another hit for him. It's gorgeous on the table.
I think it already is a hit.
Yeah, I think it probably already is.
I think it was a pre-order hit.
Yeah, 25,000 out the gate, and I'm sure it's going to do another 25,000. Yeah, I'd say it's probably already a hit.
It's a game that is not kind to the person that just wants to mash buttons and see what happens. Right? You ever see somebody that plays a game and they just kind of mash all the buttons, kind of like I'm thinking like old fighting games where you just mash buttons and you win sometimes. I don't think that happens with Tapestry. I think if you just sit there and mash buttons, you're going to do a little bit of everything and not getting points. But I think once you get a cohesive strategy, you can do a lot and have fun. There were a few things. I talked with Aldi a lot about it. There are a few things that I didn't care for. A couple of the specific Tapestry cards that kind of impact how you play your game when someone else plays them, and I didn't care for those. But overall, the game is good, and we had a lot of conversation for like 3 days after we played that game, which ultimately, if you're talking about a game several times, it must have done something right that you thought about it enough to consider all the things. And I think that's because the forgettable games are the ones you play and you never talk about again, you never play again. Those games you sit there and talk about days later. Oh, I wonder this, and you go back and start looking at things. That means there's something there, and you want to see more of it. So I think that's usually a good thing for a game.
So changing gears here slightly, on Twitter a few days ago, I was and I'm rarely on Twitter just because I don't know, I just never find the time to like dig through it because I'm usually doing something else. But I was in Twitter. And somebody, I don't even remember who it was. Somebody posted a question, and the question was simply, what would you do if you were never allowed to play board games again? And I'll tell everybody I'll tell you what my answer was, but I would like everybody to answer that question. If you were never allowed to play board games again, what would you do?
Play card games?
No, like card or board games. Like you just aren't allowed to play them anymore.
I would probably dive deeper back into video games, and I would probably... Well, I could do my job without playing board games, so I could probably still do my job. Unless board games cease to exist, then obviously I'd have to find a new career path. But I could see myself just diving deep into video games again, like I used to before I got into board games.
Fair. What about you, Barry Prime?
I'd probably do woodworking, most likely.
I thought you already play with your wood a lot.
I do.
Have you ever thought about, like, this is totally not anything to do with that, but I mean, well, actually, it is woodworking. Like videos that I can just that are oddly like appealing to me, or when people like have the big stump and they turn it into like a wood bowl using their lathe. For some reason that is just oddly satisfying to me, watching them like sit there and like carve it slowly down. And like I always think, how many times have people done that and had like the thing fly off and smack him in the face?
Doesn't Chevy Dodd do a woodworking channel on the side from when he's not working for Portal?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought he does. He has a kind of channel like that. It's all about woodworking and carpentry and stuff.
It's the Daily Shed is his channel.
Yeah. I know I've seen it a couple times.
I just think about how these people had to do it like 150 years ago before, electric pools and all that. Like I seen antique lathes and all that, foot powered and all that, but the patience, man, I mean.
Have you ever seen that like Japanese architecture that doesn't use any nails or pegs or anything? But it's all like everything is crisscrossed, and so when it's together, it's stuck. I mean, it's not going anywhere. that stuff is like, man, that stuff's crazy, awesome, cool. And of course, it's Japanese because it's wacky and strange and awesome.
Well, they had to be efficient. They only have so much wood. They're on an island.
Yeah, fair enough. I had a one-word answer. I said relax. Like, not have to worry about, I got to get that game played. Oh, I got to do that video. Oh, I got to make sure I get that done.
You'd have something else.
Yeah, I'm sure I would, but it would be weird. It would definitely be weird if you never get to play them again. I would definitely clean out a lot of shelving.
Oh God, my wife would go flipping nuts. Half of my basement would be gone.
Is your basement held up by the board games?
Pretty much, you'd think
Yeah.
so. There's enough walls filled with board games.
So interesting. Interesting factoid. Games Workshop wants to have like a Warhammer store in every state, and so ours is here in Fargo, and then there's one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And a few weeks ago, Sioux Falls, South Dakota had a tornado roll through the town. And, thankfully, because it's us, they had early warning and there were some injuries and, of course, loss of property and stuff, but nobody was killed. There were no fatalities, which is awesome. The strip mall that the Warhammer store was in, every single store in the strip mall was ripped up and destroyed except for the Warhammer store. And of course they took a picture of it and posted something on Facebook or whatever. It's just like the Emperor protects his own or something like that. And it was pretty awesome that it managed to live through it.
I'm actually surprised Warhammer's that ambitious when the internet's killing off the Mortis stores,
Well, the Warhammer they've got such a rabid fan base. Two, they are the top of the line, of their genre. I mean, if you asked anybody else, who's the top of the line board game publisher? I mean, you're going to you ask 10 people, you'll get 10 different responses, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone's got their favorite.
But I mean, you ask 10 miniature gamers, who's got the best models, who's got the best games, 8 out of 10 would say, Games Workshop.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least.
Yeah. So they've got a captive audience. They overcharge for everything that they have because the people will pay it. And it's just so, and they are now they've got their boot on the neck of everybody else, and they're just slowly applying more and more pressure. Oh well, I did ask you. You asked, don't Richard? Fine, say it out loud. I did ask, and you said I play card games.
Well, yes, I had a real answer too.
Okay, I already read your real answer, but go ahead.
Then I don't need to verbalize it.
Okay, I'll do Richard's voice and answer.
Well, Lance didn't ask me, so my answer is
I
get
thought it
back
was
to
very important
reading.
that I got my answer out there into the ether, and I have done so.
In college, I read so voraciously. I would rent books because I couldn't afford to buy them, and I didn't want to wait for them at the library.
It is true.
That's your voice, Richard.
It's uncanny. It takes a while for everybody to get used to hearing it, but yeah, I'm used to it now. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
What's that old Simpsons episode where he has Otto live in his garage or in his basement or whatever, and the bus driver, and she's like, we never said you could let him stay here. Mom, I'm surprised. I took the liberty of recording your conversation earlier today. Mom, is it okay if Otto lives in our garage from now on?
He sure can.
He's like, Marge, how could you? He's just like, that's not my voice. Oh, everybody says that when they hear their own voice in recording. Hey, look, everybody, it's Cheech.
Hey.
Oh, I also forgot. I also played Undaunted this week, which I thought was really good.
Undaunted.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right.
Forgot that came out this week ahead of Essen.
Oh wait, did I actually make the game talk portion of the show?
Well,
we're
yeah,
kind of already at the end of it.
Now we're done. So we're
Damn
gonna dive. We're gonna dive into. Hey, how's your boy Yang doing?
He just made the November polls officially, and he's pretty much, by all intents and purposes, about to pass Kamala Harris, and he's got his eyes set on Pete Buttigieg as the next target. And yeah,
so still no chance. Okay, so
pretty sure he raised $10 million.
Doing just as well as Clinton did, as Carter did, as Obama did at this point in the pre-primary season.
Can you stop with all those facts, Richard?
Yeah, there's no room for that here.
Here's
how
a
we
fact.
sorting.
I should bring some math.
Here's a fact. He won't get the nomination. Anyway,
how are we sorting the list? For sale, standalone only.
Yep. So go to Essen.
Oh wait, can I talk about one more game before we get into the Essen?
You may not talk about.
Detectives is freaking fantastic.
What?
Paranormal Detectives from Lucky Duck Games is great, and it is so interesting. One guy's a ghost, and he has to try and help everybody else figure out the how they died and who killed them and all that stuff. But it's not your typical one like Mysterium. It's less abstract. You actually feel like a detective, and it's really good. I think it's going to get a lot of buzz.
Is that like coming out on Kickstarter or something?
No, it's they're just releasing that one. I think it comes out later this month for Halloween, maybe. Really cool game if you get a chance to play it. I'd say it 3 or more players. I don't know about. I haven't played it 2, but I don't think it'd be the best of 2. It'd be okay.
Where's your video for it?
I am actually I now do these new segment where I get I asked some people for my game night if they join me in making some videos, and I'm actually going to post it while we're talking. A pretty glowing impressions of it from my game group.
Have any of your guys ever said this game sucks? Like,
yes.
Really?
This is only our 3rd time doing it. Yeah, my friend Lucy, she was pretty timid about it the first video, and I was like, no, that's what I want. I want you telling it's garbage if you don't like the game. You know, whatever it is. I want honesty. We're not here to kiss ass.
Her name is Lucy.
Now, how are you going to handle the backfire? Say, you play rules wrong everywhere. So
the same way I handle all the backfire I've ever gotten.
You ignore it.
Yeah, pretty much. I say, oh, that's my mistake. Maybe it's because your rule booklet sucks or something. If it's a bad rule booklet, but I try and be pretty thorough with the rules.
News bits that you do now every week. What is that weird effect you're doing to cover up swearing for comedic effect? I don't understand it at all.
It's a golf hit. I had to find it's a golf swing. I had to find an effect that was really short, and what I'm going to work on is when I say a curse word, I really need to enunciate it to give me more time in the editing process to get it out. Because like if I say like mother F, like it's really hard to get just the F out. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm going to start putting on the teleprompter like all caps when I really need to enunciate a word.
You're going to be talking like Samuel L. Jackson.
I try not to curse too much. I dropped 3 or 4.
All right, so it's a golf swing. Is that something that's done as a cover-up for expletives? I mean, is there
yeah, I try and keep my channel relatively family-friendly, and that way I don't have to...
I know. I understand why you're doing it, but why aren't you just doing the traditional beep?
It's not on my iPad, and that's what I do everything on. Surprisingly, I couldn't find the beep on the iPad. If I did, I'd go to it.
I see. All right. Explained. We can continue. Mystery solved.
All right. We got 800 and
so there's no way we're going through 800.
No.
I would suggest, I'm just going to throw this out there to Keith, who is the list master. How about we sort it by hotness and start talking about things people actually care about? And when we get down to things that like have only gotten 4 or 5 thumbs, chances are we don't need to talk about those.
I am all for that.
I actually would like to take that idea, but flip it upside down and talk about the shit nobody cares about.
No. All right, so we're doing. So everybody go up. Filter. It's got to be for sale and not expansions, right? We're not talking about expansions.
Right, and then sort it by hotness, by thumbs.
All right. Man, I actually get to be here for the whole preview. I never get these previews. I'm always
Oh, we're
like,
still probably not getting the whole preview done tonight.
no, but I'm normally,
800 is a lot.
I get here around the U's normally, or the R's.
Where's the sort by?
Sort
It's,
by publisher, top
It's
left.
to the left of the filter button.
Oh shit!
So I got an unexpected surprise at work about Essen a couple days ago. I thought I was going to be able to go again this year, so I asked for the time off preemptively. I was hoping to go with my wife, just kind of like as a honeymoon / Essen, and they gave me all the PTO. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going." So it's like I don't need 8 days off. So I'm debating whether or not just take 8 days off in October and just enjoy myself.
What are you going to do with the other 8 days, 23 hours, and 55 minutes?
Was that a sex joke, a weed joke, or a masturbation joke?
Probably
Go
the
the
last
last one.
Masturbation. Although he totally blew it because he should have said 7 days, blah, blah, blah.
Shut up. I know I screwed it up, but you got the gist, and it was funny. So there.
Yes, we all got the gist.
And but by sorting it like this, we don't start with Boris bees and boomerangs.
That is a problem.
No image available. It's gonna be a good one. Sort by.
Okay, so is everybody ready to listen to Richard, who is in desperate need of a haircut? Or are you just going shaggy now?
What?
You look like you need a haircut. You never go this shaggy usually. Like your hair's all.
I think it looks fine.
Well, no, but normally he's much more kept up, I guess would be the words I'd use.
Let's see. I think I can make the picture of me bust out, can't I?
We came down to Richard's grooming habits. Is this what the show came
Oh,
down to?
hey, can I?
Oh, yes. That's all I got for you.
No, that's fine. All right. So, well, if you filtered it correctly, the first one should be on Mars,
Sure.
Yes.
which theoretically I should be getting around the same time as Essen because I did back it on the old Kickstarter.
Is that Vlada or Vital? Yeah.
Vital. It is, I would say, it's his second heaviest. It's not as much as Lisboa, but it is heavier than Gallerist or Vinos or all the other ones.
Yeah, Lisboa was just kind of like his, I'm going to make a game with 8,000 different buttons and levers.
Yeah.
Enjoy!
Just try to stop me, I think he was heard to say.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say the other thing before we dive in. Less than 48 hours to go on the Madeira, which is, still one of probably my favorite, like heavy game of all time. So
Madeira?
Madeira, huh?
Oh, and Cosmic Colonies, which is really good,
It's
is
very good.
on Kickstarter right now, and from Floodgate, from Ben Harkins.
Oh, hey Richard, I didn't get a chance to watch your video. What'd you think of Age of Time of Legends Destinies? Because I thought it was amazing.
I thought it was very well done, and I'm just not looking for what it's doing. I mean, it's like 80% story and only 20% game. I'd want to be more like 50-50 or 60-40.
That's fair.
Yeah. If I had a young child I was playing it with, I'd be over the moon. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic. Jen actually liked it more than me. She really got into it more. I thought, yeah, this is fine, but it's the combat system is cool. The way you level up and you have to hit the different targets. I mean, if you're going to do roll to resolve, it's a good example, but still, I just wasn't as engaged. The coolest thing about it is the fact that it's competitive, which would make me more interested in playing it with more than 2 players as well. Although it's weird, it only goes to 3, right?
Yeah.
Which is so strange. But yeah, I liked it. We had a good time.
Barry did a knockout job too. He did the sound and he nailed it.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, it's great. Very well produced.
All right, tomorrow.
Are you guys done? I mean,
oh, sorry, we're talking about.
Isn't Pete supposed to be whipping us into shape here?
At this rate, we'll be done in 6 weeks, 42 hours, and 13 minutes.
Well, we kind of talked about on Mars.
Like that little
Keith,
download bar.
Keith, take over and let's do this.
I'm doing something right now.
What are you doing?
He's blocking a space for Aldi.
I don't think so.
On
That's-
Mars from Eagle Griffin Games, Vital Lacerda. This is not a game I'm excited about, but I'm sure it's going to be spectacular, and I'm sure I'll love it when I eventually get to play it.
Why? Because you don't like games that are tough?
No, I do. I love Vital's games. It's just I don't get excited generally about heavy Euros unless the theme really grips me, and I like the theme, but it doesn't grip me.
Fair enough. Maracaibo, I'm sure Rado's played it. Tell us about it.
I have not played it. It is my #1 most anticipated game of the show. I'm very excited about it. Alexander Pfister can literally do no wrong, and I'm really bummed. Capstone, they were going to send me this and there are other two, Cooper Island and Crystal Palace. But I needed to have them filmed in time for the show, and I said, "Sorry, guy, you're asking too late. I can't do it." And so they said, "Well, then we won't send them to you, and we'll send them to somebody who can get them done." So I'm very sad. I will probably have to wait until January or February before I see a copy of it, which is too bad. But Alexander Pfister is a god amongst designers. He is fast approaching Stefan Feld as my #1.
Wow.
High praise.
And then I'm sure it's a great game too. Sailing boats in the Caribbean. Cool. All right. Alexander Pfister. You had me at Pfister.
What he said.
I'll say this: when I got to meet Stefan Feld, he was a super nice guy, and he's like 8 feet tall.
Yes, he is a monster.
He's a very cool dude.
How is his English?
Very good.
Really?
Way better than my German.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe he was faking it with me because he wanted to get away.
That's what I think.
No, I talked to him for a little bit about how much I really, really liked Macau or whatever.
Carol.
And he said, yeah. And then right in front of the Queen Games people, I said, somebody should reprint that. And then he's like, and then he actually turned and looked at them and goes, maybe we could talk about you guys reprinting that. We have a meeting coming up. And they were like, they said, do you have the rights? And he's like, I do. And they're like, we should. Yeah. He's like, we should talk about that.
Jeez Louise. Lance Mikester, mover and shaker.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was probably going to talk about it anyway.
But now you are an influencer, sir.
But that was cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, that is one of his best games by far. And
Yeah,
it
I
is
love that game.
impossible to get. My copy got all beat to shit on the move back over here from England or from Europe, which really bummed me out. So that's great news. Good job.
Yeah, I've been trying to track down a copy of that isn't $180 or whatever.
Yeah.
But all right, so go to Black Angel, which is weird because that's out.
But maybe not in Europe. So
Yeah, I've had my
They make
copy
it.
for a month.
Still a great game.
It's
Haven't played it yet.
Didn't you get a
Paranormal
copy of it?
Detectives. We already heard from Forrest saying that that's awesome.
So and there's no videos on it. I beat you, everybody. Take that, Tom. Take that, man versus Meeple. Up yours.
suck it,
right.
fellow influencers. George Power was heard to say in his final public address.
Yeah, I'll be dead tomorrow.
Hey, yeah, I got disconnected, but I had to go back. Maracaibo. It looks like something I really
I've
care
already
about,
usurped
so.
you, so if you want to take over, but we're on. It's a Wonderful World.
I'm back and I'm with it now. I don't know anything about It's a Wonderful World. Who does?
But
It's
it
a
is-
wonderful game. It's a really sharp card drafting engine builder. Really, I mean, just incredibly compelling. A big part of it is it's the whole, I take a card, I set aside, hand the rest to my neighbor. But everybody, the cards you take, you end up setting aside face up, and you don't get to play it until all of the drafting is done. So it does make hate drafting a more pressing thing than in Seven Wonders or other style games, because I can see, I see what you're building up for. I understand what it is you're going to try and do this round. And so you become much more involved than regular card drafting games in, trying to, not hand the equivalent of a science card to your opponent. And another part of it is there's multiple stages every round. And if you're really good with the timing, you can get buildings that were just built to generate goods to basically create kind of a combo chain explosion of buildings. which I know sounds incredibly boring, but to a Euronaut like me, it was really compelling. It was my first game of the month in my new Roundup series, and I love it to pieces. Jen and I were both super impressed with it.
All right, here, let me make notes here.
That actually does sound
Uses lots of hate drafting.
Yes, I mean, and the hate drafting is strong with this one.
Okay, so lots of screw jobs. We have Robert Geislinger. Sorry, dude, we're full up, but as soon as we have a space, you're in, man. Mr. Blue Gamer guy, Mr. Arcane Wonder Stooge, and he can't say anything to stop us. So if anyone wants to make fun of Robert, go ahead, make it.
Can we say stuff in the live comments? How does that work?
You'd have to go to the YouTube page.
Yeah, you have to actually go to the YouTube channel and.
Whereas I don't have to. I can do this.
Yeah, I got it. Man. I got you.
At me, Forrest.
There's a link.
Comment live
link
on YouTube.
I don't think my computer could
there it is.
Do YouTube or
Right
YouTube
there.
on this.
See, and I can even highlight it there.
Forrest,
Next up is Paladins of the West Kingdom.
So you can keep it in a side window.
Paladins of the West Kingdom. I'm still waiting for my copy, which I'm annoyed by.
My copy's on the way, but with the thumbs on it, I don't think people care about the small boxes. Next up, Cooper Island. I am interested in Cooper Island because I like nautical-looking games, and this looks kind of cool.
I'm interested because I really liked La Granja, and this is from one of the two designers of that.
Yeah, this looks cool. I love the exploration and 60 to 120 minutes. Yeah, this looks really cool.
And of course, Coopers were what? What in the
They made barrels.
They did. They made barrels.
Yep.
They were barrel makers in that.
This is an island full of people wearing nothing but barrels.
Well, no, actually, the game is named after the designer's dog, Cooper, I believe.
Damn it, Rado! Let me have my fun.
You have no fun, sir.
Next up, Jetpack Joyride. I don't care. So move on.
It's okay. It's an okay family game.
It's a cute, charming little game. I'm surprised it's so high, though.
That is really surprising.
But I guess it is based on a very popular video game.
Yeah,
it's really simple. It's a speed game where you're building a little.
My son loves playing that game on his iPad.
Then he would probably enjoy this game.
Yeah.
If you're a family gamer and you like the game, I think it's accurate enough that you would enjoy it.
Boy, the free game Jetpack Joyride as an app is way cheaper and easier to play. I'm just saying.
Yep, but you can't share it with your family around the table and have memories that will last a lifetime.
Well, I could throw my iPad in the middle of the table. How dare you, sir?
No memories that last a lifetime.
I wish that I could somehow get Forrest in Keith's spot.
Why is that?
Oh, you can't move us around?
Bowers sucks.
Hold on.
He wants to put Pete's head on Bauer's body.
Hold on. Let me see here.
Oh,
What if we did?
Next up is Tapestry, which we've already discussed.
Hold on. Here, hold on. Okay, wait.
Joyride has more thumbs than Tapestry.
Dang it! I had it there almost.
Pop Forrest out and then bring him back in.
Well, here. You know what? I don't want to start something. But hey, just saying, Lucky Duck Games has 2 games in the top 10, and one of them is surprising that it's up there.
Oh yeah, well they're unstoppable. That's a good point too. Yeah, this is Lucky Duck, and based off Chronicles of Crime, I'm sure they've got a very deep and powerful mailing list.
Yep,
of diehard fans.
Have you noticed that
Power sucks up the whole time? Because I'm totally for that.
I am. Have you noticed that card drafting seems to be making a big comeback lately, as far as the mechanism of choice? Seems like there's been a lot of games coming out with card drafting.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons Cosmic Colonies is so good, is because it flips card drafting on its head.
Yeah, because
play rather than the ones you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can totally hold on to stuff. It's so good.
Are we trying to stay on task or not?
Yes. We're just talking about Go back, Cosmic Colonies.
Whip 'em, Keith.
The game is awesome.
What the hell is this?
All right, Tapestry was next. We already talked about Tapestry. So next, Trismegistus, the ultimate formula.
So good.
I want to play this. I don't know anything about it, but I love alchemy stuff. So.
It's so good. Oh yeah, yeah, it's so good. It's so brain burning, and like there's like, so you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, oh, I totally got this, I totally got this, I totally got this, and so I can do the thing I want to do. Oh, I can't do the thing I want to do because I forgot this one little piece of the puzzle, and I can't turn my tin into mercury, so I can't actually do this, because there's all kinds of weird things like that happen. Plus, it's like, so like the way the game works is before the round, you grab all these dice and you roll the dice. The dice are either black or white, and the dice themselves are white or the dice themselves are black, but they have the same facings on each of them. And then there are these 5, like on the board, there's these 5 spots. They're like bowls where you then put these dice, and a bowl can have up to 5 things in them. If they have too many, then you take excess and you re-roll, and then you place some on. So you get to the maximum you can have in any one bowl is 5. On your turn, you'll take a die, and that die, depending upon the number of other dice that are in that bowl, you gain like basically that many actions from that die, and you place that die into the spot, and then that die like moves down the list. But the die that you pick, both the color, whether it's black or white, and the facing that the die is on, determine the actions you can take. So like you might really need a die, but when you take it, it's only going to give you 2 actions. And basically it's one of those games that once you've taken 3 dice, you're done in that round. So that's like the first puzzle of like, trying to make sure that you like get enough actions. So do you take a die that really doesn't give you exactly what you need, but maybe you can somehow work with it, but it gives you a lot of actions? Or do you take one that exactly what you need, but you're only going to get like 2 actions out of it? So that's like the first puzzle. Then you got all these different, like I said, you got like basically your own little alchemy thing on your own board that you're moving stuff through, and
Surely,
you have these.
I'm surprised you're so keen on it, because I would assume, based on the designers, it's a tend your own garden affair.
Well, I mean, you get into other people's ways a lot, by taking stuff that they want, which I can still like a tend your own garden game. It's just I just like games that are tough and difficult and not easy. And this is definitely.
How forgiving is it? You make it sound like it's kind of unforgiving.
It is unforgiving. Like if you'll end up like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything, and then you end up having to just be, So yeah, it takes a lot of careful planning and making sure that. Like, because you get formulas that you're trying to like finish these different formulas to get like.
I think Pete would like to interject.
No, I'd like to move on.
Oh,
In this case, we're going to get to number 6 on the list.
Holy shit, we're not even there.
No.
Oh,
Chocolate.
Anyway, it's really good. It's really good.
It's not a blow-up doll. It's the dude.
all right.
Next up, Chocolate Factory from Matt Dunstan and Brett Gilbert.
Yes, this is their first heavy game that they've worked together on since Elysium.
Ooh.
I liked Elysium.
I didn't think Elysium was heavy.
Elysium's not heavy.
Oh no, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I mean, with the
compared to
play
lot
mat,
of
it
what
weighs
they
a
do,
little bit.
You're right. It's medium. It's light to medium. It's their first it's their first non-lightweight game that they have worked together. I mean, because they did like a little pyramid stacking game together, and they've worked separate from each other. But this is the first mid-weight game, let's say, that since Elysium, and it's a pure engine builder, all about optimizing a literal conveyor belt as you move chocolates down and put nuts and wrapping and stuff like that on. It's very clever.
I got to play a couple of games with Matt Dunstan at Gen Con. It was a good time.
Yeah, but I'm saying the two of them working together.
Yep, that's awesome.
Man, I really hope Elysium gets an expansion eventually.
I'm skipping Artemis Project because we talked about it all the way back at Origins. So moving on. Imperial Settlers, that's already out. Moving on.
They do have the Japan Island expansion.
Those are expansions. We're not talking about expansions.
Yeah, Keith, get it.
But I have to have it. So you're right. Next up, 1942, USS Yorktown.
So
No
this is
clue.
from the same publisher as 19, whatever that San Francisco earthquake one was, right?
And it looks like the same publisher as the next game, which is 1987 Channel.
Channel.
Well, it
Oh,
looks like they did
I think they both.
1906 San Francisco, 1911 Amundsen versus Scott, 1920
There you
Wall
go,
Street, 1942 USS Yorktown, and 1987 Channel Tunnel.
I am interested in Channel. Because
I mean, I don't know anything about this. It looks cool.
It's a 2-player game. That's why you is interested.
It says 1 to 4 players.
For the Channel. It's
Oh.
2-player.
2, yeah.
Well, why are we? Okay. Well, I mean, they both look neat, I guess. I don't know.
Don't the components look neat in the Channel game?
Oh, 1942 was cooperative. Wow. Okay. I just
Do
bumped
you
that up to
think-
interested.
Do you think Jen would play that since it's actual?
I don't know. It's always, I mean, she never wants to be
Yeah.
put in a situation where there's a gun in her hand killing real human beings.
Yeah.
So that's always an issue. But,
Even in historic faction?
she didn't want to kill nobody
Yeah.
except orcs and goblins.
Well, they have feelings too.
Yeah. Ow. Sit
All right.
down, Nudge. Why are you wet?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what Barry's doing. Moving on, the Castles of Burgundy with expansions in the new box. and
Is this the
art
deluxe
and stuff.
version or the new deluxe version?
This is the new version of Castles of Burgundy.
I would probably be
Which
interested in
people
picking
are
it.
already grousing about.
Well,
people
I
are
mean,
already
give us
bitching about it.
I'll-
Burgundy
my
back.
personal-
They are heard
my-
to complain.
My personal opinion is, I don't really like the board. I kind of like the old board better, but
I don't think
whatever.
the new board looks any better nor any worse than the original crappy board. It just looks crappily different.
It's still the same great game. So
It is a great game. I wish they would have taken the opportunity to make it a lot easier to tell buildings apart at a glance and to tell what things do. So they missed that opportunity.
Oh, they didn't?
They improved a little bit, but I just don't think it's. I mean, you don't know what unless you play it a ton. You have to sit there with the player aid in front of you to play Castles of Burgundy.
It's
And I
interesting.
don't
The
think it's
man in the yellow still look pretty similar.
Yep.
yeah,
That's surprising. I mean, that's like the biggest complaint in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious why they reprinted. Is it to introduce the new gamers or
New people to it.
nostalgia? Yeah.
Well, this is their big thing, right? That they've decided to join the 21st century and say, okay, we care about components now.
Yeah.
Come on.
And they can sell a game they've already sold again. So, hey, win.
And
for
everyone
them.
will want the new version.
Yeah, win for them.
Well, apparently it's all a collection of all of the expansion boards that have ever come out, plus a new one that's never come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the colors pop a little bit, but the boards look a little busier too. So, looking at the new boards,
I don't know
I
the
look
last
forward
time
to
I
seeing it
played.
in real life.
but otherwise, I think it still looks mostly like itself. Next up is Pret-a-Porter, English second edition, third edition, whatever edition we're on now.
Another game with a massive graphical overhaul.
Yep. Which apparently is shipping to some people now, just not me. Next up,
idea.
Sierra West, which is already out in the States. We've already talked about it on previous shows. Followed
good
by
game.
Terramara.
Terramara.
I don't know anything about
I have
Terramara.
marked this as not interested, although I do not know why.
I have as well.
Quinned Games.
Well, Quinn's made good stuff.
Yeah, Quinta game, they have very good production, and they're hit or miss. Sometimes they have very good ones, sometimes less good ones.
A lot of designers.
Variable player powers. I like that. I like games with variable player powers. Let's see here. I'll read the instruction. Terramar is the name of the villages founded around 1500 BC, mid to late Bronze Age in northern Italy. People lived, traveled, and traded between the Alps mountain range and the River Po. The main occupations of the Terramara people were hunting, farming, and metallurgy, casting bronze tools like axe heads and stone molds. The houses in the villages were built on piles, meaning each house is built above the ground, supported by wooden stakes. In Terramar, you play as the chief of a clan living in one of these villages. Your goal is to develop your clan, exploring lands farther away to trade with other villages and reach sacred places. You improve your battle strength and discover new technologies to create useful artifacts. The player who develops the best clan by gaining more development points becomes leader of all of Terramara and wins the game.
I probably marked it as not interested because of the word battle plan.
Modular board, variable player powers, and worker placement. This would be something if somebody showed up at the table with it, I'd play it because it looks like it's got some. If it isn't Michael Menzel art, it's very much like a Michael Menzel art. It is Michael Menzel art. Never mind.
Good eye.
Yeah, and yeah, it seems to be hitting on the buttons that I like. As far as let's. I don't know. I mean,
the horses look inappropriate, Robert says. Now I kind of want to see these horses.
Yeah, I mean this game. I mean, like just looking at it, like here at a glance, I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, I'm who's the designer? Designer. I don't know.
A whole bunch of people.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people. Like so, who is Achitaka?
You know Achitaka?
Oh, it's like a group of designers.
Sorry. Which is probably this list of guys.
Yeah, you are correct. Again, sir. But there you go. Yeah.
Should I mark it up to interested from not interested, Lance? Should I do it?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Does it really matter?
Let me hold on.
People have made fun of me. I should use the add notes because I look things up, I figure out why, and then I never click the add notes. And then 2 months later, I forget. There's a Man vs. Meeple video. I'll go back and watch it. I imagine I watched it before.
Next up is Barrage.
Barrage.
This was out at Gen Con. I guess they had a lot of issues as far as like with some of the production.
Yeah, apparently.
Which doesn't mean anything necessarily, but if you want to go and wade into the comments, it's definitely a big mess if you go to that one.
Oh, unhappy people over there, unfortunately.
Next up,
Mm.
it's surprising too, because I don't think Cranio's always been pretty reliable. They pulled off some really complex.
This one was very much like a deluxe kind of version type of
yeah,
thing.
there was a lot going on in the box at Gen Con. I noticed that.
I like it.
So-
King Fat 44 says bar rage. There's plenty of bar rage around.
I would be interested in playing this one before I buy it, but it does look cool. It looks cool.
Oh man, you want to crush dreams and destroy souls? This game will let you do it. Hey, I spent half my game making up the perfect dam. Everything's perfect. I'm just going to ride this to victory, and I'll just go upstream and just redirect all the water away from you, and everything you did for half the game is useless now.
All right, so let me just make another note here. Buy Barrage. All right.
Next up is Glenmore 2 Chronicles.
I told Nils to hold on to a copy for me. That's like pretty much the only thing I am going to make sure. I'm going to go over to his booth and buy a deluxe version of that. I love the first Glenmore, and I'm assuming this is just more of the same awesomeness. So
it's surprising. There are a couple of things. I mean, it's basically Glenmore, and they add, I forget, like 10 different modules. You can turn them all on. You can turn them on. They add lots of really cool, interesting stuff. But there were, if I'm trying to remember when I did this, there were 2 things they took out. Overall, the main thing is they made the tile laying much easier. Because you remember in Glenmore, there's the road. You always have to make sure the roads connect left to right and the river connects up and down. The river is gone. So it is much easier to place tiles to optimal effect, and you're not quite so riddled with tension as to, I can't get this thing next to this thing. And so they made that a lot simpler, but then they added a sideboard where you're spending a good deal of time literally grabbing land all around Scotland that gives you all kinds of special benefits and bonuses. So they took a major portion of the complexity of the game out and replaced it with a different type, which was really interesting, which is why it is 100% Glenmore 2. This is not Glenmore with some stuff. It is Glenmore flavored, and it feels like Glenmore, but it's really different. if you're a super fan like I am.
Super fan.
This was the only game I want to hear about. I'm
Which
very
one?
stoned because I had to go with a different medication. I'm out. See you.
Yeah.
Hey, Bert.
Next up is a Deep
Good night.
Blue
And I
from
suppose
Days of
we'll
Wonder.
let Robert in.
Oh, patience has paid off.
Deep Blue. This is what I'm interested in as well, but I've not heard good things from people who have played it already, which is
I
sad.
was interested in this. I watched
Tom
Richard's
Vassell
video and I lost
Crazy
interest.
balls, wacko insane in his summation of this game. His perspective, which I will not express anywhere other than the Alaboom, is completely out of touch with reality in regards to this game, and it's very easy to poke holes into his complaints.
I didn't. I'm not going on
Can you
Tom.
tell me what you think? What the
Oh,
complaints
do
are and
tell,
why you
do
disagree?
tell.
It's a push your luck game, which how long am I going to keep pulling from this bag because I might bust? I better stop now. But whenever you're going to do it, it's basically you're diving to find treasure and sunken ruins and stuff like that. If there is another salvage boat belonging to another player who's in an adjacent area to you, before you start diving, anybody who's nearby can for free jump in and go and ride along on the same push your luck sequence. And the complaint was, I don't enjoy when somebody else pushes my luck for me, because if you, Lance, decide to follow along and jump in on my dive at the last second, I'm in total control. I decide how deep we dive. I decide how long it goes. I could get us all killed, or I could, wuss out early and prevent you from getting stuff because maybe you're in a better position than me to actually leverage what's there. I think it's brilliant. It's a really cool level of interaction between players. And my complaint about Tom's complaint is, if you don't like doing it, don't do it. It's very much a, Doc, it hurts when I do this. And the doc says, well, don't do it then. It's really, really cool. Who is it? It's from up-and-coming
Days of
designer.
Wonder. Oh, the designer? The designer? Crap.
Designers,
Yeah,
different people.
Yeah. These guys have teamed up on a few different games, and it's good. And Tom hates it. Dan, Game Boy Geek, hated it. I love it, and Actual Law loves it as well. And so far, those are the 4 data points on it.
One of the guys is the guy that did Flamme Rouge, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's Oscar.
Right.
I watched your video and I thought it looked like an advanced version of like Quartz. Yeah, it's a game where you push your luck and draw to try to get treasure. Yeah, that's a little mining game.
I like that game.
Push your luck is push your luck. I mean, it
is.
They do some interesting stuff with that because, there's other interesting things, but the central cool thing about that game is somebody can start a dive, other people can join in, and the problem is I don't know exactly what cards are in your hand, so I don't know how well you'll deal with the dangers, but if I suspect that I am stronger than you, I will push harder than I would normally push. Normally, okay, I got to stop. But now that you're here, if I stop, you'll end up getting more out of this dive than me. So I'm going to push my luck even farther and hopefully shake you off so that you have to go back to the service and then I can get out. That kind of stuff doesn't happen in a regular push your luck game where everybody's just sitting and waiting for somebody to stop pulling from a bag. And I think that makes it really special and stand out.
What Pete wants to know is, are there any sharks at all in the game?
Yes.
There are undescribed sea monsters.
So no sharks, Pete.
I remember there was a big gigantic octopus.
Screw this game then.
Yep. There might not have been sharks. I don't see any on any of the cards I saw.
Oh, man. How do you have a water game with no sharks, right?
I know, right?
I take that with a grain of salt. There could have been sharks. I did not carefully catalog every single card.
Maybe you're saving it for the expansion.
There you go.
Ratville.
What are we at?
Ratville.
This is from Sophia Wagner. And no, it's not. I'm thinking of another game with rats from Sophia Wagner. I don't know anything about this one. Never mind.
I don't know anything about Ratville either.
Nope.
I don't know this
Next
one.
up.
The publisher.
But why has it got so many thumbs to be in upper echelon stuff, and yet none of us know about it at all? It looks like a couple of first-time designers. How mysterious is Ratville? I wonder.
How is it mysterious?
Who is the Ratville?
How do they get so many thumbs?
I don't
There's
know.
1,000 games.
No, I mean, why does it have more thumbs than Alubari, a cup of iced tea, or Coloma, or Suburbia Collector's
I-
Edition? Or
I
Magic
don't know.
Could be a
it-
bunch of people getting their friends and friends and friends and friends to thumb up something. That's,
I
Could
suppose.
be.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yep. Next up is Alubari, a nice cup of tea.
Yes, from Tony Boydell. It is the sequel, the spiritual successor to one of the greatest worker placement games of all time, Snowdonia. So that's all that needs to be said.
Well, you look at this cover, you look at this box, you look at this name, and it does nothing to draw a person in.
nope.
I would have just blasted right through this and never gave it a second thought due to cover and title.
So the
Yep.
box and title are bringing me in, but that board is giving me a headache.
It's because the train is drunk on the board.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably a good game. It's got a good designer, but
I will grant, having
Play it.
never looked at the board before until this very second, that does look very Candyland.
yeah, it does.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Next
board's
up.
not doing it any favors.
Well, still, it's in my top 10 most anticipated because of the pedigree. But I wonder about that art.
Next up, speaking of pedigree, Johnny Pack with Coloma.
So good.
Does Johnny Pack have a pedigree now?
Yeah.
He deserved it. He's earned it.
Yep, he's got a name.
Yeah, Coloma is so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my number 10 most anticipated of the show.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ding it. It's got stickers on meeples. That's a foul.
It's so good. So good. So good. Everybody should own Coloma.
I like Western games.
Did you
I
ever
don't
play
have
Hangtown, Lance?
Yeah, I did. And he took like he basically streamlined that just ever so slightly in the Coloma, and it's just very good.
Yeah.
Everybody should own Coloma.
Oh, I do like simultaneous action selection.
Yes, I liken it to basically Race for the Galaxy, but in the American West. It has kind of a similar feel, but instead of you trying to figure out what everybody's going to do and follow them to get extra bonuses, you're doing the opposite. You're trying to figure out what everybody's going to do and not do that, because the more people that do a given action, the weaker it gets.
Yep. So, and I love reveal moments in games. It's just like that's that moment where you see what everybody else has done, and you're like, either you're like excited or you're like, oh, why did you pick that? You're so dumb. Just like, yeah, he said like things like that. So, good stuff.
Next up, Suburbia Collector's Edition. If you like Suburbia, there's a Collector's Edition.
Suburbia is a very good game. I just, I got rid of my copy a couple of years ago, and I haven't felt any like longing to play it again. So
Yeah, they came out with a good app, which just killed the physical game for me. And
Now, I wonder why it says Suburbia Collector's Edition, Regular Edition.
it's the regular edition of the Collector's Edition.
Is it going to be a collector's edition? The collector's edition?
Maybe.
No, actually, I can answer. So the collector's edition with your Kickstarter, you got to choose a box color.
Oh.
And there were like, I don't know, 40 different box colors you could choose from or something.
Wonder how they pulled that off. Is it a sleeve?
I think so.
Oh, fuck that.
So the regular edition is just not the custom box color.
Man, I hate sleeves so much. On shirts, on boxes, just no, nothing.
I noticed the shirt you're wearing right now has sleeves.
And he's full of rage. Look at him.
I'm so mad. I meant long sleeves, but
Just
yeah.
rip them off right now.
I'm getting I've had half a dragon tattooed on my right arm and shoulder for like almost 10 years. And finally I'm going in tomorrow night. I'm going in to have like the dragon probably finished off.
Oh, wow.
And I had to go and I get a tank top tonight so I'd be able to wear something instead of just being sitting there, like without a shirt on. And I was just like, why didn't I go like before? Because we're supposed to get like 10 inches of snow on Friday here. So, I mean, I was like, oh, this is so dumb. I had to drive to like 3 different stores. And I finally found a Bush Light tank top at a sporting goods store.
Minnesota classy.
All right.
Yeah,
Next up,
for $9 at a sporting goods store. I was excited that I found one. As I say, Busch Light, the official the official beer age is 17 to 21.
Yes. Ecos First Continent.
That is so good. That is a
It is
really,
excellent.
really good game.
Great game.
It is.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I talked over you, Richard. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just. It is. It's fantastic. I'm so tired of everybody saying, this is just warmed over Rise of Augustus when that's absolutely
Way better than Rise of Augustus.
I know. It's just. It's so phenomenal. Although it breaks my heart because I hated the 2-player implementation. Throwing 18 cards at somebody and say, figure it out is just not a good way to start the game.
Yeah.
Colleen,
I'm convinced that AEG basically abducted John D. Clare and have him just squirreled away in some basement somewhere, and just it's like you keep making games and maybe we'll let you out.
We'll let you see your family again.
Yeah.
Well, somebody on this show talked me into trying the Edge of Darkness at Gen Con and picking it up blind. And I got it, and I cracked it out, and I played a game of it. And that game's super fucking cool. I like it a lot.
What a roller coaster you just sent me on.
Didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, I bet
the
expansion too. So that just
Keith is nothing if not a drama queen. So
no, it was cool. So I'm becoming a John D. Clare fan.
And he's a really nice guy too.
Yeah, you worked with him on Downfall, didn't you?
Yes, we did, and he was very patient with the many trials and tribulations that we went through to get that out. So,
yeah, I did not like Mystic Veil and a physical game, but as an app game, it was fantastic. Much like Ascension was a mediocre.
Definitely a game that benefits from speed.
Yes, and not being able to feel if a thick card's coming up and cheating.
Oh, but I love that feel. I love the feel of big, super thick. Yeah, this is half an inch. This is going to be an awesome card. I can't wait. I love that.
Before I move on, the coolest thing about Edge of Darkness is the shared deck. That is what made it super cool. That's what I thought was cool. All right, moving on. Machikoro Legacy. We've talked about this game in the past. Pipeline, we talked about going into Gen Con.
Still very, very good.
Still a great game.
Yeah.
Next up, Era of Tribes.
Oh, this is like my second other game that I'm like, I got to make sure I come home with this.
I haven't looked at this one.
As the here, I'm going to read this. Era of Tribes is a civilization worker placement strategy game for 1 to 4 players from 14 years and over, where the goal is to develop, expand, discover, and interact with your fellow players in Europe from the Neolithic period to the High Middle Ages. It combines the best of 2 worlds. Amerithrash and Eurogame, so I call it.
No, don't say it out loud.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Amerithrash.
Oh no! How can you support that?
I don't support that. I'm closing the window on that game now. Thanks.
Oh, I am so I can see like my group and I 4 of us, sitting down playing this for 3 hours, screaming at each other. I need this game.
A lot of stuff in that box.
I know. I need this game more than I need my next breath. So yes, I am very excited for this one.
Very cool. Next up, Escape Plan, which
we've talked about it.
And then a German edition of a game we already covered. Point Salad, which is already out in the U.S., which I actually like. Clank.
You like that it's already out in the U.S.?
Point Salad. No, I like the game.
It's out in the U.S. He's in the U.S. He likes it in the U.S.
I like Point Salad. I think it's a good lunchtime game.
You're eating
Legacy.
salads.
Acquisitions Incorporated.
I don't care. I mean, I'm sure the game. I played Clank twice. I thought it was fun. I just never saw the need to play it again. But
Clank's one of the few games that I played. I enjoyed. I played it again, and then I gave it away.
Yeah, I like Clank, but I don't need to play a legacy version of Clank because it won't.
Remember that one year there was Clank, Clink, and Clunk? That was great. Anyway, sorry.
Next up, Crystal Palace.
I know nothing about this, but I like economic games. I like dice, and I like worker placement. So please, somebody tell me you played it.
I also really like that box.
Yeah. All right, get the button bar. We need to save that.
As I understand it, it's fairly cutthroat. There's it's a worker placement game, but there's lots of opportunities to. Is this the one? Yeah, I think this is the one where you. It's a dice worker placement game, but you set the value of your dice. You don't roll.
Yes.
And, so it's like one of those, like Bora Bora or Ancient World, where, well, yes, I could go and do this worker placement action with the 2 so that everybody else could get in, but fuck all of you. I'm going to do it with the 6 so no one can get in. Suck it.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I believe it's that kind of thing. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
It is.
That's what it is. Let's just go ahead and add this to my imaginary list.
Yeah.
The games I will play with Richard Ham at some point.
I know that because Ed of Heavy Cardboard, when they were talking about it after his video, his girlfriend said, "Yeah, this was really cool, but man, this is the meanest game we played in a while," or something like that. At which point
let me just make another note, put a little star by that. There we go. I noticed that the designer, his only other game that he created was Drachensocken.
Classic.
So I don't know, but it definitely. Let's see. Chris Voss players taking the role of the nation at the time of the First World Fair in London, trying to create a buzz with spectacular inventions in the support of famous and powerful people. Dice placement game in which the players themselves determine the stats of their dice at the beginning of each round. Higher the number, the better, but it comes at a price. In the course of the game, dice are placed on 8 action locations. And a competition for the best resources, patents, and brains. In a world of slightly weird inventions, you will meet people like Phileas Fogg, Levi Strauss, and Amelia Edwards, and invent gadgets to the thinking machine, the beer glass counter, and the climate changer. Yeah, this is going on my interested, or it's not a must-have, but it's on my interested.
So this is actually.
Feuerland. Has Feuerland put out a bad game? I don't think so.
This is actually the designer's first game because Drachensocken is an upcoming game. It's coming out later.
Yeah.
Well, la-dee-da.
All right. I forgot to filter out expansions, but I can't believe the Tricarian expansion has 285 thumbs. Moving on.
Because maybe it's that good.
I don't know. I've got it sitting on my shelf now, but
I like Tricarian a lot.
I do too. Cooper Island, Germany.
I hate teaching it. I
Fuck
It is
teaching.
terrible to teach. It is god awful to teach.
The game is a bit of a beast. But did anybody get the expansion off Kickstarter? I didn't realize it was coming with all the game trays, and it was pretty amazing.
I did, but after I played it, I played Tricarian 3 times, and then when I sold 600 games to a friend of mine for a few $1,000s, that was one of them that went. So,
have we already talked to Fujikoro in the past?
That's really good. I've enjoyed that very much.
Ragusa.
Very good, but came out at Gen Con.
Yeah.
All right.
What are we doing?
I'm going down.
Oh, geez, we've skipped a few then. Oh, dear.
Well,
No,
it was a German version of Cooper Island was next.
Oh, okay.
And then Fujikoro.
No one had anything to say about the Fuji?
No,
it's really good.
We talked about it way back when.
Okay.
And that's one of those that I really wish I got the deluxe version, but I think I might be able to get one from Rudy over at Game Brewer. So.
Next up is Netatanka. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about this.
It's a beautiful worker placement game. The art is gorgeous. It is not based on any one Native American tribe. They've kind of just made their old portmanteau, or however you say that word. The worker placement gimmick of it is when you place a worker down to do whatever, gather resources, build a settlement, what have you. There are spaces, there are non-worker placement spaces connected to all the worker placement spaces. So if I grab this space and the space to the west of it, I automatically get the bonus action that's connecting these two spaces. And so it basically adds a concept of area control to worker placement. Because, I see you've gone over to that space, and now next turn you're probably going to go to that space, which means you'll get this nice bonus. I don't want to go to that thing, but I feel like I have to go there to stop you from getting that bonus kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was good, and it really lovely presentation. I mean, the stuff you're actually doing really doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's pretty straightforward. Collect cubes, turn them into other cubes so they can become points, ultimately kind of experience. But the worker placement was neat.
Cool. Now I can skip this Rado's thoughts on it.
Cool. All right. Next up, On the Origin of Species.
It looks like it's a big giant card game.
It's a tile placement game.
Oh.
It's an animals game.
It's got a shark in it.
Pete, you awake? There's a shark.
I'm
trying to
not
stay
kidding. I'm
awake.
looking at the board. There's a shark.
Yep, I see a shark.
Yeah, I see a shark tile.
Shark.
Finally, something to talk about.
That is so crazy. You can pick it up for 32 at Spiel, or it's 68 to pick it up at BGG-Con. Ugh. How many games are lost from Essen to America? That's crazy.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the caravan thing?
Yeah.
You have to pay $30 to have a game come over via the caravan?
Yeah. At least minimum.
Most
of the-
games, or is it
it's
just like
pricey.
one time?
Actually, to be fair, it's 32 euros to $68. So, but yeah, still pretty much.
Well, I mean, obviously you're talking about my company, but I mean, they don't put that on a boat. They air freight all the games back.
Right.
So it's it isn't that they're, it isn't the slow boat from Europe. They put them on a plane, and so they make sure they're there at BGG-Con. So there you go.
It's not cheap, but it's not overpriced. I'll fess up and admit that. If you're trying to get something out of that mess over here, especially since it's a condensed time this year.
I actually really like the way this game. I actually really like the way this game looks.
Oh no!
Really.
All these here. Who will fall on their sword?
Well, no, he's he can hang out in the chat for a little bit. I mean, we're fine.
Next up is Orb Hunters.
He's supporting the caravan, Lance.
What am I supposed to do? Leave? What am I supposed to do? Kick Robert? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to kick Robert out.
Yeah.
Well, Robert does say Bauer sucks, just as a reminder.
Yeah, look at what Robert. It's right underneath
there
Robert's
forever.
name too. It's perfect. It's like.
Next up,
Orb Hunters. I know nothing about this.
Which one? Oh, Orb, yeah.
I do like the artwork.
Is
the
that
artwork looks
Nico's
cool.
art? No, it's not. Is it?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
it
you're
Artist
the
is
art.
Mihailo Dimitrievsky.
Yep.
It's the weekend. So I don't care about this game, but I want it just to go with my art collection.
Yeah, exactly.
The Fated Fortress was once the home of the most powerful magicians of the Four Kingdoms. Now, I like that name, the Fated Fortress. I'm going to steal
my
that for a
favorite
D&D
artist.
campaign. That is
That is evocative, yes.
that is a fantastic name for an art. Chad, write that one down. The Fated Fortress was once the home of the most powerful magicians in the Four Kingdoms. Now, after the War of the 200 Years and the time where the magic is persecuted, it has been abandoned. Fortress is full of dangers and curses, but also houses all kinds of relics, including the ancient orbs, the most desired treasure by any adventurer. I like the
Can
theme.
you bring me back a copy of this?
I think I'm gonna flat out steal that idea for an RPG adventure. I'm telling you that right now.
I need a copy of this.
Unfortunately, Chad wrote it down as the Fated Fortress.
That's also okay. That's fun too.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, Masters of Renaissance, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, the card game.
Yeah.
Want.
Yeah. This one actually looked really good.
Yeah.
One.
Well, I like the game. So it's so hit and miss though, because sometimes, and this is going way back, you have things like San Juan, which are great.
Oh yeah.
And that's obviously evocative of Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
But and then a lot of times it's like, oh, here's the card game of this, and you're like, yeah, this isn't any good. You're just cashing in on the name. So
I suspect
Echoes of Burgundy, the card game was really good.
Obviously it's a streamlined version of it. It seems like the cool new thing they add is I don't know if you remember Ulm came out a few years ago.
Mhm.
Grid where you push a chip in and another
I
one.
like that. That was like the only thing I really liked about that game.
Yeah, well, they've taken that idea and they've merged it with Lorenzo Il Magnifico. That is the means by which you collect resources and then play Lorenzo Il Magnifico with that system.
Can you be mean in the game?
That tastes great together.
Can you be mean?
Hmm?
Can you be mean in the game?
You could really be mean in the original one because it was one of the tightest worker placement games I've ever seen. I probably not. I bet you, from what I've seen of it, it's probably a lot more live and let live now. I bet.
No,
That's probably a problem for you.
Now interested.
Don't quote me on that, but I think it's probably going to be pretty Care Berry.
Next up, Reavers of
Ah,
Midgard.
the little Kittner boy. Sorry.
What?
Nothing. Moving on.
Reavers of Midgard.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
I played that at BGG-Con last year.
Next up, Wayfinders.
Network and route building, also something I enjoy.
From
Let me-
Pandasaurus Games.
Let me just take a look at this. Let's see. I'm going to check the designer's pedigree here. Hold on. He designed Decrypto, Anomaly, which was a good game. I haven't played Decrypto, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Decrypto. Decrypto is like
Decrypto is good.
Is that the yellow one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
like
distributed by Yellow. It's from Scorpion Mask, but it's distributed by Yellow in the States.
Aldi, we are sorting for just games, not expansions, for sale, and
Hotness.
Python.
hotness.
yeah.
So
sort of by
I
film.
love the little planes in this game. This might be up on must-have. Engine spurring goggles down. The seaplane is set for takeoff. Welcome to the whimsical world of Wayfinders, in which intrepid explorers race to chart new paths through the skies. You will need to think on your feet and outfit your planes with the right gear to arrive safely. But building hangars on islands and stocking them with parts can help you zip around with ease. Be sure to be keen in your planning, and you will unlock the charms of the islands. Wheels up! Adventures await.
Clearly, Mr. Calling is a voice talent.
This looks cool. I love all the different little islands and all the different little things. Yeah, I like networks and route planning stuff. So this is going on my definitely on my interest, and might move up to must have after I will take a look.
Next up, and I'm surprised it's all the way down here on the list.
And yet that rat game has like 250 more to come.
Yeah, I know. Orleans Stories.
Yeah, how the hell is this far down?
Because Orleans is an old game. I mean,
Yeah, but
You
this is
shut
a
your
new
damn
look of
mouth.
paint.
Orleans is amazing.
This is Orleans is like a modern classic. Everybody loves it.
That game still hits my table at least once every 2 months.
Yep. Plus, it just got the fancy tokens you can get from BGG Store that makes it more infinitely playable and more tactilely pleasant. This I was really excited when I first read about this, because I thought it was going to be, they're introducing big storyline campaign stuff, but they're not. It's more like that co-op expansion where, look, we've just got 2 new modes you can play, and they both have kind of a story setting. But it is a standalone game though, which is interesting. So they're making some pretty significant changes to like the way the board worked and stuff like that.
Alrighty, next
Yeah,
up,
it's top 10 for me.
Chicago 1875, City of the Big Shoulders.
such a good game. Oh,
Good.
Is this the one I watched you play with Joe at Origins like 3 years ago?
yes,
Prototype?
yes.
Yeah, there's a big old beefy sucker.
Yeah, it is a really, really good game and highly, highly recommended for people. I mean, it is
Did you say for people?
it is a bear of a game to learn. You need a good teacher. I'll say
Yes.
that to begin with. And I don't look forward to teaching this game. But thankfully, when I got taught the game by somebody who is extremely intelligent, a guy local guy by the name of Cullen, who is and I mean, I don't look forward to teaching it to anybody though. It's got a lot of bells and things going on. So
Yeah, I just got the expansion, and I'm hoping to get the exact same group together that's played it already twice now, because I don't.
I would strongly suggest not. I mean, playing it 2 or 3 times before you add that expansion in. I mean, there's just no reason to add it. There's so much to unpack with the game.
Well, I mean, the expansion it's just more companies for the most part, but the companies.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you've got so much already, in my opinion. But whatever.
Some of it's like fancy things.
Yeah, well,
Next, Ishtar.
Super good.
Some of us don't roll around in bush light tank tops all day.
Hey,
Damn sleeves.
damn sleeves.
Some of us have an entire dragon tattooed on our body.
I've got an entire Batman and Mr. Freeze. So there.
So you did get Ishtar?
Ishtar was very good.
totally
I got
missed
a
it.
I got a copy at Gen Con.
Yeah, it was available at Gen Con.
Yeah, I missed it as well. It looks cool though.
It is super cool. Well, yellow, so you know that they knocked it out of the park. But you'll like it. You're a gardener, Richard.
Literally.
You're literally a gardener. Transform the city, the dry desert into the lost hanging gardens of Babylon.
It's pretty abstract, though, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not.
Yeah.
It's a gardener like in Azul. You're a mosaic.
Pretty much.
What are you
Person.
trying to say? I'm not. When I play that. Oh, I'm sorry. Just
I imagine it doesn't transport you to the garden.
Oh, I just turn on one of your videos and close my eyes, and I get transported to a garden.
Next up is
look,
Lavinia.
Is he blushing? He's blushing. Anyway, moving on to your next one. What?
Lavinia.
They missed their explosion of winemaking games by a few years.
Yeah.
Hand management set collection. I'm sure it's. I mean, as far as a little card game, I'm sure it's fun as heck. And Devere usually makes pretty good stuff. Let me just do a.
It looks kind of cool. Devere's been hit or miss for me.
Devere.
Yeah, I'm not really that familiar with them, I have to admit.
That sounds
the games that I
familiar.
like, the games that I tend to like from there are games that nobody noticed existed.
Yeah.
This is the designer's first game.
And it's got 200 thumbs. So it's in the upper 20%. It's
Still
got
not
more
really
thumbs than the
right, though.
King's Dilemma.
The Great Pickers are fighting to inherit a magnificent but nearly abandoned vineyard. Whoever is able to harvest the best grape yield from the vines will become the owner of this precious land. In Lavinia, the players advance along the board, collecting cards of the most interesting grapes. To collect the cards, you advance along a track that represents the rows of a vineyard. Each track has a series of different grape cards to either side, and you are allowed to choose the cards next to the space you're on or next to the space you move to. Each turn, you can choose a card and advance, or advance and choose a card. I dig that.
I mean, it's no Ratville, but I'm definitely interested.
Yeah. At the end of the track, there are different wineries, each preferring a different kind of grape variety. Get the best reward for your harvest from the local wineries by matching your hand of grapes with their needs. If the players go quickly, they may get the best cards, but risk not having enough grapes. If they go too slow, the competition can. I like games like this, where you have to kind of gauge what everybody else is doing and react to them. It promotes interactivity, and it's also it looks like I could play it with my kids. Yep, this is going on my
I like the
list.
simplicity of the art too.
Yeah,
It's very clean.
there you go.
Actually,
I didn't
that
even
might
know
be
about
the
this, but
prettiest- that might be the cleanest, prettiest game I've seen from Devere.
Well, I have in the next game though, the King of All Bards. Dice bards. I'm in. Plus, if you click on the designer and you go
it
and look
has
at his,
that as a primary mechanism.
if you click on the designer, he's got an epic picture of himself for his.
You're right. He looks
Right.
like the King of the Bards.
It's a game of epic songs and dirty tricks for 3 to 6 players. All your life, you've chased the ultimate recognition a bard could receive. The Bard
I'd rather
crown.
play a game of dirty songs than epic tricks.
The
Actually-
money, the fame, they all mean nothing. Okay, they are pretty nice. And the fast way to prove your worth. The time has come, an epic sing-off in all the town's pubs and taverns is your chance to get your hands on that sweet, sweet prize and the title of King of All Bards. Rehearse your best songs, prepare your nastiest tricks, and get ready to smash the competition. It's showtime!
Hey, Lance, you want to see a tale of two pictures? Click on the designer and then click where it says browse 2 images underneath his name.
Oh, I saw the other, and then he's got the,
What is
the
happening?
man bun in the second one or whatever. Yeah. No, this looks cool. The King of All Bards. Got standees, which I'm not a huge fan of, but
Bard's not doing it, but Take That I enjoy.
I do like Take That. Take That. This goes on my list. King's Dilemma, fantastic game. I really enjoyed it, but
All right.
What?
Next up.
I'm sorry. Did you just say you're down on the King's Dilemma?
No, I really liked it, but I can't really talk about it without giving away a lot of stuff.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're moving on past the King's Dilemma.
I'm just surprised it's so low. I mean, I thought that was pretty
Next up,
hot.
Another Alexander Pfister game.
Yep, and this is ridiculous.
Expedition
how
to
low this
New
is.
Dale.
It's like my number 2 most anticipated game of the show.
I love Alexander Pfister games, so I would be interested.
And the interesting thing is he has been toying with what do you call it? Putting narrative into games, just drip feeding stuff in. And this seems like it's him really pushing. No, I'm really going to put a story in here and have it drive the game in a big way, as opposed to stuff he's done so far. So I'm intrigued by that. If it will be the culmination of his narrative work.
Well, when I look at the photos, it looks like a heavier Oh My Goods.
It says the story of Expedition to New Dale starts about 5 years after the events from Oh My Goods Escape to Canyon Brook.
Yep.
So
yeah, the cards are very similar in their design.
It's a continuation of the narrative.
Good, where they threw a board in for some reason to be able to grab land in addition to the normal stuff you do.
I'm in.
$2.
$2.
All right, next up. Isn't this an old game?
Russell's 1893 came out 6 years ago.
Oh, it's 1897.
This is Russell's 1893, the card game, which they decided to call Russell's 1897 to confuse everybody and make everybody say, didn't this game already come out?
Yep, because I just
the 1893 game was quite good.
It is very good, and this is very good too. It does a good job of really streamlining it down to a very sleek package by cutting a lot of the fat, as they say.
Of course, seems like it's about 2 years late. If it was published 5 years ago.
Next up, here is La Cité de la Lumière. Something like that.
Quieter the longer you read that.
Oh, I'm just trying not to fall asleep.
I know this list is making me fall asleep.
This is a 2-player only game from Devere Games. So I'm out.
I don't like the way this looks.
It does have polyominoes though.
Maybe.
I like
polyominoes.
So Runestones, I played that at Gen Con. That was fun.
Yeah.
If you like Rudiger Dorn stuff, it's more Rudiger Dorn. And I like Rudiger Dorn stuff. So
it's Rudiger Dorn doing deck building. But
it has me interested.
You didn't lead with the fact that it was deck building so that you would actually sit down and play, I assume.
Yes.
I'm out. No, you told me it's deck building. I'm out.
Atlantis Rising, one of the best co-op games that like vanished off the face of the earth, and then Elf Creek came and reprinted it.
And the reprint looks absolutely stunning.
A buddy of mine played this at Gen Con. He said it was freaking great.
Yeah, and it's really, really brutal. You will not win easily playing it.
I had the old one.
This new edition is just gorgeous.
Yep, it'll make you earn your win. So
I'll have to reach out to them. That sounds right up my wheelhouse.
All right, our next game I have a pseudo interest in, which is Aquatica.
Yay, I can say something.
It has the Megalodon.
It does have a Megalodon card, and this game looks cool, although I've not seen any videos on it yet that I've watched.
It is really cool.
Because you don't like my show?
I just
have you
haven't.
done a video of this?
Yeah, I have not. I have not watched anything on it yet. I kind of don't want to. I want to be surprised because I know I'm going to get it, but
it has a very, very cool central mechanism for tracking the passage of time. That it's very different, but it reminded me of Zulkan the Mayan calendar, the way that it used gears to keep track of things that were happening in the greater simulation. This does something very different, but that kind of feels the same, and we liked it a lot. And it has a megalodon.
All right, I'm going back to
I'm in.
that video later. All right, cool.
Cosmodrome. I mean, like, what else have they done that anybody?
Last year they made a big splash with Smartphone Inc.
I know. I'm being funny for Geislinger.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't make me sad right now.
I don't. What's the backstory there?
Nothing I can say on the stream.
Okay.
He can type in private secret chat.
Well, how exciting!
Next up is Babylonia from Reiner Knizia.
Babylonia.
Yeah, I have to check it out just because it's Reiner Knizia.
No, you don't have to drag me to play it just because it's Reiner Knizia.
You don't have to. There's nothing that makes you have to do that.
I must. I've got my marching orders.
Your marching orders?
Yep, my Knizia marching orders.
It does not have good table presence for me. I'm so finicky. I'm such a finicky, jaded person.
I think you need to be a little finicky, though. I mean, honestly, or else you end up with too many games that you never play.
I've already got too many games I don't play.
Yeah,
you see my pile of shit I'm just giving away, and they're good games. I'm giving away.
Knizia game. We got a Knizia game coming out Q1 next year. Just wait for that one.
Finicky. I think and this is something we can talk about at some point in the future. But I think more people need to be more finicky when it comes to the games they buy.
Yes, because people buy too much stuff.
And I just, and like I think it was who was it that posted this? I think it was Richard. It was Rick Strand. He said, "I realize now that I'm involved in two hobbies. One of my hobbies is playing board games. My other hobby is buying board games."
I embrace that. I openly admit that's my other hobby.
Yeah.
I am a board gamer, and I am also a librarian.
A collector.
Yeah,
Right.
I fall into that collector category.
I'm actually considering converting this room to having like library stacks of calyxes that I can walk between.
Yes.
So like you can have like an opening of Ghostbusters and stack the books up instead of stack the games up and put a bunch of slime on your card catalog. Who remembers card catalogs?
I do.
Yep.
Oh, from the library. Yeah.
Right.
The Dewey Decimal System. Totally.
I actually was in a library recently and was trying to find the card catalog, and apparently they're not there anymore.
Nope.
And I was like, well, how am I supposed to find something?
It's all
Use
digital.
the computer, slacker.
Yep.
So what did I learn that Dewey Decimal System for?
Because computers were not as prevalent then. That's why.
Yeah.
Next up is Circadian's First Light, and I'll just say I don't like the art on the box.
I was not super impressed by the art either the first time I saw this. I
think it looks better on the components in the game.
Well,
but
and
I
here's
don't like it on
the
the
deal.
box.
Okay, so the publisher, it's Garp Hill, which, is the same people that do all the Raiders in the North Sea and Paladins and all that stuff. So it's like...
Yeah, no, it's like
I don't know. I mean, it looks... I'm interested in playing it. I am super interested in playing this game. Because I like the idea. It's like, oh, okay, you're a bunch of, it's basically kind of like an away mission for Star Trek Enterprise. You're exploring a planet and trying to find stuff. So I'm kind of digging that part of it. But I mean, God, it's just like there's sometimes when you see like the cover art for a game and you're just like, what happened?
The thing is,
I'll say the
art
box
is
is
done
not
by
good.
Shem's brother, Sam, who is actually a very popular graphic designer in New Zealand. He has a very specific style that you like or you don't like. And it's certainly not a style that we're used to seeing on board games.
Yeah, so I'll say the box obviously I don't like. I'm interested in the game. The picture they have on here of the game set up looks really cool. It's just the art that's throwing me off. The graphic design I'm fine with.
Let me look at the art here. Hold on. Let me pull this. All right, I like that. That looks cool. I do dig the dice. I'm liking the dice. I'm liking. Yeah, okay. I'll move this up to interested.
At least the art looks a lot better than the Golden Ages, so I'll give it that.
Then the what?
The Golden Ages, that Stronghold game, that thing turned me off so bad with the cover art. So this is not the worst art I've seen.
All right. Then we have So You've Been Eaten. Oh, I
This is
Game
damn
for
good.
0 to 2 players.
For 0 to 2 players, how the hell? What?
It says this is a game
Because
for
there
0
are
to 2 players.
automated rules if you want to play it solo, and you can play the two automated characters against each other.
Well, that's dumb.
And they know it. They're just being silly when they talk about it.
I kind of want to watch it though. Just one.
I mean, if you've ever met Iroquois, the head of Ludi Creations, he is a very silly person.
Fair.
He has a very goofy sense of humor. So I'm sure he put that in there just because it makes him laugh.
Yeah.
Haha.
All
Yep.
right. Let's see. Next up is The Magnificent. Someone was talking about this a while ago.
It's right here. It's very good. From the designers of Santa Maria. Not quite as good as Santa Maria, but definitely in the same ballpark.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Next
I could go into more depth, but it's a good dice drafting game.
And what's the theme of it?
It's you're running a circus, but it's weird.
What is up with the circus games lately?
The art almost looks more like you're running a kind of a Cirque du Soleil type.
What
circus.
is it, like a dark circus?
Huh?
Is it like a dark circus?
Is it like an
the
evil
whole
Scooby Doo
game
circus?
is super dark. It looks like you
looks
turned the
cool.
dark mode onto an app or something like that.
Right.
And so it's very striking looking. Really quite unlike anything else, I guess, except for maybe Blackout Hong Kong, now that I think about it.
The
And,
artwork.
but yeah, the gameplay is very good. Very tough, challenging, tense, and stressful decisions as you draft the dice and try to make best use of them to set up your camp with Tetris-y style stuff, travel the countryside,
Happy
get more resources, and put on.
birthday to you.
What? Oh, who?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Keith Collins.
Oh, happy birthday, Keith.
Aw,
Happy birthday to you.
What prompted that spontaneously? Did it just turn
I
midnight?
was griping
Yes.
because I just
Okay.
got older.
Your
I will say
48th trip around the sun, my friend. Well done.
I'll say the art in The Magnificent looks magnificent.
Really? Really? You're not gonna tell Keith happy birthday?
I already did. And then I got back on the subject.
Oh shit! Food chain magnate expansion. What?
We're not talking about expansions. I
But
hear.
it's food chain magnet.
don't matter. We're not talking about it.
It's Food Chain Mag. Is that
Hey,
something
wait,
put in
wait,
the
wait.
fridge?
Has anybody
Don't
played
matter.
this? Has anybody played this?
I've
Food
got
chain
it.
mag- sure,
I
we've all played it.
So Steamopolis, but it's German. But it's pick up and deliver, which I love.
Oh, this looks awesome.
Why do they do this?
Gerhard Hecht. Who is that? That name sounds familiar to me. I must look.
It's the son of Mrs. Hecht.
The catch-up mechanism.
Oh, Kashgar, Merchant of the Silk Road guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that just jumped to must-have. How did I miss that?
Because it's German.
But I mean,
You know what? That is exactly right. The first thing I did when I was doing this, I went through and I did a search for German and I marked everything not interested if it was German only. Aldi, feature requests for these previews, being able to sort by language. But wow.
the old mayor fell between the gears of Steamopolis. Now you need to elect a new one. Of course, this can only be someone who knows how to deal with steam power. You feel that you have the guts to run the city, but so do your opponents. Now it is the time to prove your talent. Steamopolis is a huge steampunk city built like a giant skyscraper of gears and pipes. Different levels provide different resources. To reach them, players use their steam-driven zeppelins. Oh, they pile out their cores and heat up the boilers and then take action. It's an engine building game for 1 to 4 people with a fair amount of non-destructive interaction.
Yeah,
Non-destructive interaction, Richard.
that's the best kind of interaction.
No, optimize your engine, utilize it, and max it to the proof your worth as the future mayor. The artwork looks cool. The game looks cool.
Richard, I have good news for you.
What's that?
All of the components are language independent, and they will have English rulebook translated at Essen.
Oh, this is going on. Must have.
Yep. It just pumped.
They confirmed that they will have a translation that they can provide you at Essen, and that all of the components are language independent.
My only problem is I hate pick up and deliver.
Why?
Well,
but still, Kashgar, Handler der Siedenstrasse was one of the best games in years, so it is a must check out. This is his follow-up, basically, right? Because he did that Legends of Andor, which is basically Kashgar in a fantasy universe.
yeah.
And yeah, I think this is wow.
Pretty much.
Put it on the board.
Oh, he's got another one coming out this year. What's this?
Moving on. Irish Gauge.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
Happy birthday again.
Oh, well, thank you.
Irish Gauge is fantastic.
I think I'm going to take this opportunity to leave and go to bed.
What? What will we do without you?
No, you'll continue just like
Aldi won't be able
always.
to step in and crack the whip like you.
Yeah.
It's his birthday and his wife is awake.
No, my wife is asleep, but I'm going to go to bed myself. I'm tired. The only other thing I see on the list rolling through is a German edition, and it's Marco Polo 2. I would like.
Yeah, I've got one more game I want to talk about out of the next
what's your
50,
one more,
and then I'm
Pete?
going to bed.
What's your one more, Pete?
City Skylines, which is next.
Oh, okay.
That's what
I'll
you've been hanging on
talk
for.
about that.
No, it's not.
With
But
sharks
there's
in
just
the
nothing
sky?
else on this list that excites me that I don't already own. So,
All right. Good night, chuckleheads.
good night, Keith. Happy birthday.
Good night, Keith. Have a good birthday.
Happy
Thanks.
birthday, my friend.
I guess we'll have to settle for Aldi now.
Oh well, he hasn't even tried to enter, so we're fine without him, I guess.
Gasp.
I don't know anything about this Yukon Airways, but
You don't? Are you
no.
serious?
But it's got
I hadn't heard of it
dice. It's got about aviation and it's pick up and deliver. So
Well, no, I
I'm.
mean, geez, I mean, you have to check this out because you love picking
Oh, look at those cool little planes. Okay, I just saw a picture. It's okay.
It
Must
looks
have.
cool.
Quick.
I hadn't heard about it either.
Yeah, it's
In
very
Yukon
cool.
Airways, you'll be at the controls of your very own seaplane with the mission of transporting travelers to the different points of the Yukon. Embark your passengers, represented as dice, using the draft system. Drafting. And
What
use
is
your
this, Rings,
And
the
here's
board
thing
game?
that's cool about the dice drafting. All the dice get rolled, but rather than all going in one clump, they get divided into different docks because they represent the passengers you're going to pick up and deliver all throughout the Yukon. And the dock you go on, when you take them off a dock, you also activate the special power of that dock. So you will often be in a situation where I want those passengers, but they're on the wrong dock because I want to use that special ability of that dock, but it has terrible or no passengers on it. And it makes for very, very cool dice drafting.
It's got sharks in it.
I don't think that it has sharks in it.
I
But
wanted Pete to say something.
Pete, it has sharks.
also, the designer of it, who apparently did Cupcake Empire, I think, which is supposedly very good.
Yeah, that's good.
His dad actually ran Yukon Airways in real life as he was a kid. So it's a real he wrote up like a really good designer diary about it. It's a real passion project for him. And I played it, and love and attention to detail is just all over that game because it's like an homage to dad.
All right.
Yeah, if you like dice drafting and you like pick up and deliver, you have to try it. Is Aldi coming in? What is
He's
he?
in. He's just, I don't know.
He's having technical difficulties.
It's
So,
his birthday too, and Keith's
City
wife.
Skylines? Because why was Pete so stoked for that?
I like the video game. So this is based off a video game. It's a civilization game. Very detailed civilization
Well, the
game.
important thing is it's from the designer of Nations,
Mm-hmm.
which is the
Ooh.
greatest Civ game of all time.
Thank you. I agree. One of the few things we agree on.
Wow.
But that and the fact that the last Star Wars movie was horrible. But anyway,
City Skylines was an amazing PC game.
Yeah,
So
that's a really cool game.
interested to see how the translation goes to board game. This will be a
sucked about
must-buy
hours.
for me when it comes out in the States.
Why is it German only?
Don't know.
Makes me sad.
Wonder if it's licensing.
Well, that will suck if it doesn't come to the U.S.
Yeah, someone has to tell me if it's. I mean, because it's got text on the cards. No, it doesn't. It has icons on the cards.
I'm looking.
So it's probably language independent.
Oh, it's co-op. What?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's a co-op SimCity style game.
I
which
am really
is-
intrigued.
but how?
King Fat points out it's Cosmos. Of course, it's Cosmos doesn't care about English, so we'll have to wait until Thames and Cosmos does it next
The
year.
board looks awesome, though.
Yeah, it looks like they haven't even started doing translation to English for the rules.
This looks really cool. When the players have developed their city to the next milestone, they choose which new board to buy and expand the city. Huh. This looks really neat.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nations is phenomenal. So
70 minutes, too. Ooh.
Yep, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, but can I put it on my list since it's only auf Deutsch?
Peter, are you just going to pretend there's a shark in that water in the middle, or
Yes, I'm going to draw one with a marker.
He'll get a Sharpie out, yeah. Hey,
It's the $86 million man, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
Scott,
everybody.
what's your middle
What's
name?
going on?
Hey.
What's up?
What's your middle name?
Douglas.
All right,
It's my dad's name.
that does nothing for me. Never mind.
Does this have text on it?
I don't see any in the pictures,
I'd go for
so
it.
you could pick it old school.
Do you guys remember Nauticus?
Yeah.
You played Nauticus? That game was
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Had text on it. Wolfgang Kramer game. Cosmos never made it over.
Yeah, Valley of the Kings Premium Edition. I like
Played
the
that
old
one
Valley of the
weekend.
Kings. I never understood why they needed a premium edition of Valley of the Kings.
The cards are tarot size. They're awesome.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it is. It is a very well. I mean, I guess it's part of AEG's. We are only going to do a couple of games a year, and they're going to be really high quality productions, right? So,
Yeah.
this is a game that really should have gotten a lot more love and never did. So they want to make
There's
sure
a lot
it
more pictures.
gets the attention it deserves.
Only like 2 pictures. That game's a lot more nasty than I thought it was.
It is. It is unfortunately nasty. If you
But you
got
can play-
if you got all 3, which are now available in this box, you have enough cards that you could take out the nasty ones if you have a certain predilection.
They
Why
have
would
a
you wanna do
formula
that?
for- Well, whatever. They have formulas for I forget, like Cute and Cuddly, I think they call it, or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. And they did add, I think, like another half of an expansion worth of cards in this as well that you won't get if you have the previous 3.
I wish I had played it before. It's like 10 years old, right?
Game
What's
came
that?
out a long time ago, probably
It's
6
been
or
out for
7
a
years
long
old.
time. Yeah, and I never played it, and now I'm like, wow, this was really good.
Oh yeah, it stands up. I mean, there's nothing old feeling about it at all. It's really good.
I had this.
I think
crazy
Valley of the
combo.
Kings came out around the same time as like Age of War. They had like 2 or 3. There was 2 or 3 small box games by
Yep.
AEG that all came out at the same time. It was Valley of the Kings, Age of War, and there was another box game that was in the same size box as Valley of the King, and they all came out like the same Gen Con, and that one got lost in the shuffle out of the 3.
You're absolutely correct on that one there.
Mhm.
P tier.
Yep, I remember it. I remember that game because I remember picking up the 2 AEG games and the Fantasy Flight game all at the same time because I stuffed them in my backpack. It was like my last day at Gen Con.
And then you ran out the door because you didn't pay for them.
You did a
No.
trade.
All right, so then move on to Porto. Hand management tile placement in city building looks extremely light, but it does look kind of cool. You build the buildings with
Yeah.
cardboard tiles.
Yeah, it is. It's a very light Michael Schacht-esque, fun little Euro, quick, easy to teach, easy to play. It's nice, man, and it is very satisfying to see the board come together with all the colorful buildings and whatnot, or the floors of the buildings.
I always worry about somebody bumping the board though, and everything goes.
Yeah, I imagine it might be a bit successful with that. That's a good point.
But whatever. Parks. We already talked about that several times.
Yeah, it's already out in Barnes and Noble exclusive.
You skipped
Yep.
Sanctum.
Sanctum. Ooh, that game looks. I mean, I do like the fact that Czech Games just basically says, "Hey, what was a video game that people liked a lot?" And then let's see if we can make a board game based
I'm
on
very skeptical about this one. I played it at Gen Con, or at Origins. And they told me at Origins that they were still hammering out the ending to the game at Origins when they're releasing at Essen. And I'm not sure.
Those guys can print on them. Their turnaround time is really fast, so they can proof it's the last minute.
I don't know. It was a red flag, but it was cool. I like the game.
Edition, what have they ever released that wasn't polished, well balanced, well designed?
Some of those little box games they were trying to release to capitalize off the code word. Some of those were hit or miss.
Oh, like the little one with the squirrel. What's my name?
Yeah.
Buddy,
Some of those were hit or miss.
Buddy Moose Moose.
Yeah, that was another one.
That was fun.
Supposedly really well loved.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to. I mean, I was going to say even Bunny Moose Moose is a very well loved and well respected game, as I understand it. Never having played it because it's a party game.
John Rott said he needs $76 from funding his Kickstarter. So, boom, goodwill. Make it happen before the end of the show. Let's do it.
All right.
I'll give him 75. I dare you.
I'll jump in. I've been meaning to look at his new stuff. I have so much. I should show you my pile of John Rott dice. It's so.
So I mean, Sanctum is one that like I'm interested in, but I'm also it's like I can wait for it too.
I remember it had a really cool leveling up system where you would acquire the loot, and the way they did that was really well done.
Well, so my worry, so obviously they're trying to make a Diablo type game, right?
Oh yeah, they openly admit that
yes.
Yeah, they
okay. Well, I know. Okay, so just tell me this, Forrest.
Yes.
Is there like a random loot generator? Like when you play Diablo and you have like when you kill stuff and then like I killed like 500 of these dogs and finally like a blue thing dropped. Or
I'll be brutally honest with you, I played that at Origins and I played about 50 games that weekend, so I don't recall correctly. I remember I think you fought different bad guys to get loot and the loot was like tiered. But I could be completely wrong about that, so don't quote me.
Wasn't that like the World of Warcraft board game? You get like tiered loot.
Well, no, like you progressed along this this map. It was like you were going up, I believe it was. And as you progressed further, it was better.
All right, moving on. Terra Below, that's already been out.
Real quick,
right now.
One more question about Sanctum. I mean, my question is, was Adrenaline good?
It was.
I never played it.
But I don't know. I played it like twice, and then I was done, I guess. I mean, it did feel like you were playing a first-player shooter.
It succeeded at its goal of capturing that feel. Yeah, I never tried it because it's 3-player minimum. And this is the same designer trying to do the same thing with a genre. So, okay. Thank
Did
you.
we skip the Escape Tales?
Escape Tales?
Yeah.
It's Aldi. Escape Tales is in this as an expansion, even though it is not an expansion.
No, it is a standalone, and I am stoked for that. I love it.
It is a standalone game, but somehow, and I looked around, I could not find a way to report that it is incorrectly categorized as an expansion to the previous game.
Yeah, it's not an expansion. It's completely standalone, and it is. I'm excited about it.
Wait, did we skip Terra Below?
Holy shit! 360 to 540. Is that right?
Yeah, did you play the original?
It took us all
Did you
day.
play the first one, The Awakening?
Which game?
Ooh.
Forrest, did you play The Awakening? The first one?
No, this is a must-have though.
Oh, it's fantastic.
What game are you blathering about?
Escape Tales.
Escape Tales is a new series of escape room in your home style games like Unlock or Exit, but it's very strongly story narrative driven.
Right.
Yeah.
And a kind of quasi horror.
That's my jam.
And it is hard and
Coming out at Essen. and it's not on the list because it's listed as an expansion when it's not an expansion.
What did you say was the original name of the original game?
Escape Tales: The Awakening.
Yeah.
This looks like they're trying to cash in on the Black Mirror thing.
What's the name of the other one?
Escape Tales Low Memory, I believe.
Okay, I'll fix it.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, this is super high on my list.
But we're not
So-
talking about expansions.
We played it, and I was not as positive as you.
Really? Did you play the first one?
Yeah,
Did you like the first one? Or are you saying you played the first?
I'm like right on the middle line for it. It wasn't.
Oh, see,
It didn't blow me away because I've already played.
The first
Yeah.
one blew me away.
No, I mean the first one's good. I agree, but you don't know my group.
That's
Oh,
fair.
what did your
If
group
there's
do?
it starts here, like anticipation and excitement is up here,
Yeah.
and then as the game, it doesn't matter what game, it goes like this.
Well, that's fair. So for me, with Escape Tales, I started it with a group, and then the group lost interest in playing, and I finished the whole thing by myself.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it was fantastic alone too. Actually, it was kind of freakier alone.
Is this out in America? Was this brought by American
First one is available.
First
I
one
thought
is
this was America.
Cosmos? Is it Cosmos?
No.
Gordon Dice.
Yeah, Board and Dice, the Polish company.
This is on my radar. This looks really cool.
Yeah. If you
solid.
like
Here's the
escape
thing.
rooms,
Yeah.
you got to try it.
Well,
It is very dark, so I don't think it's one you could play with your kids necessarily.
oh, that's fine.
No,
It is
I'm a big story.
Mhm.
I love stories. I love when a game can really grip me with the story.
Well, also, this story will probably grip you because, as I recall, isn't it about a parent whose kid is in a coma or something like that?
That's what the first one is, and he's going in without
trying
giving
to
too much. Yeah,
So
Oh,
it's
He's
really evocative. It really grabs hold of you.
right. He's in a nightmare world of her subconscious and trying to dig through that. This one, the only thing I see is a content warning for suicide.
Yeah, so it's probably also very dark.
It was dark, it was creepy, but it was fantastic.
I'm hyped.
I wanted more out of the puzzles. Like I wanted more. I don't know. Integrated because they were kind of they were kind of the puzzles you get in like
Meaning they kind of
like an
they're
SAT test. Yeah, I mean like it wasn't. It was mathematical. They're mathematical. A lot of them were mathematical. All of them were, but there's a fair number of like puzzles I had seen before in other forms. Right.
That's fair. This one really does lean on its narrative.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint. I just wish the narrative was more interwoven with the puzzles.
Well, anyway, Terror Below.
I played it.
It came
I think
out.
I'm the only person.
Tremors,
Yeah,
the board-
it came
it's
out.
Tremors.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm the only person that doesn't like it.
No,
It's
I
just
didn't.
it's there.
I didn't like it.
You know.
I was like, this is okay. And the board, after about 3 rounds, looks like an utter mess on my table. And I was like, I can't deal with this, what's happening, and I can't keep doing this.
It seemed like it was too easy to kill people. Like I died 4 times. Like I mean, I was dead. Like
I wanted to like it.
And-
I just didn't.
yeah, I really wanted to like it too. It seemed like fighting the monsters is super, super hard too. You have to really get lucky with your draw of gear. And we looked at all the gear and we're like, how do you kill a monster? How do you kill one of these things? There's very few things that actually kill, unless we misunderstood something. But
Well,
Moving
whole
on.
movie to kill the worm and
I
Tremor.
hate to give it a bad recommendation, but it if you like funny, crazy, like blow everybody else up games, it's free, and it's Tremors.
Moving on. Era, medieval age. We've covered that already. Moving on. On the
Yeah,
underground.
Out of curiosity, does anybody know if this is going to get a reprint with a better board?
They put out stickers. All of the copies that are coming to the U.S., they put a sticker pack inside the cellophane, so it's on the outside of the box, but you can see it through the cellophane. And the stickers go over all the different spots on the board to give them definition. There's a YouTube video by Scott Morris from GTS explaining to retailers that about the sticker packs and to look for them and to explain to the customers what they do.
Did something
It happened already. They've already printed them and they're already in distribution. So when the game actually has its US release, it'll come with stickers, and anyone who got a version of it at Gen Con can email Eggert Spiel and they'll send you a sticker pack to
I am
sticker
glad
your.
that I asked. I haven't heard this anywhere.
Yeah, I found out today.
Okay.
But is it that like unplayable, that it's messed up?
Yeah, if you look at the boards without anything, you cannot read the icons on them. You just have to play it enough times to know what all the icons are.
Oh, that's a drag.
Yeah.
Man.
But a lot of people just took Sharpies or crayons and filled it in and made their own, which look almost as nice, but the stickers will be much more crisper and cleaner. And
so it's a bunch of small individual stickers. It's not like one sticker that goes over the whole thing.
No,
right?
it's a bunch of small individual stickers for each spot, and even the little numbers that go over the pegs down the middle. It's a strip that goes right down the middle that pegs all the stuff for the 2 tracks they run along the right side of the board, and then everything else is individual.
And this is one of those things too, where it's like you wonder how did this get by? I mean,
this is what I was going to ask. Was this always the plan, and they just somehow the stickers didn't make it, or something?
I can't. I don't know if they've ever admitted it. I don't think they have, but it has to be a printing error that it was just too late to fix. There's no way in your right mind you can look at that board and say, "Oh, we don't need to put any ink in these little grooves or have it blackened in or washed or anything."
Oh, so
it's impossible.
Somebody posted a picture where everything's washed and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does. I washed mine and they look fine.
It, right?
I inked mine with a Sharpie, and then I tried one with a black wash, and the black wash one's a little sloppier, but it makes it a lot better. But still, I mean, whoever's call it was to go forward with it, I think they just wanted them in time for Gen Con, so they just went with it. But there's no way that was meant to be that way. I fail to believe that it was meant to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
My understanding is that if you did pick it up early, you can get the stickers still by just emailing the company.
Yeah, the icons are basically just raised plastic.
Yep,
they're just.
But it's yellow. It's yellow, like it's just flat yellow. You cannot see it. You cannot see it unless you pick it up and look at it. And this is not a game with all those little pieces on the board that you want to be picking up and setting down, picking up and setting down.
Are there any pictures of the stickers yet?
Yeah, if you watch the YouTube video that Scott Morris did from GTS, he actually shows them being applied or after they've been applied. I forget what the name of the video is, but I'll see if I can find it.
Yes,
All right, moving on. On the Underground, London, Berlin. I don't know anything about this.
It's a reprint.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, it's titled Era Medieval Age Sticker Update. Is the name of the video. It's like 3 minutes long.
Send the link. And I will say that On the Underground was Aldi, I'm sure, knows about it. It's a much older game that was outed as a Ticket to Ride killer, because it is basically a Ticket to Ride-esque experience, but much deeper and more interesting and puzzly. And it's just one of those ones that has been out of print forever, hard to get, and it's getting a big lavish reprint. And now the board is 2-sided, so you can do the London map or the Berlin map, and they add new rules and whatnot. And yeah, I did play it when it was on Kickstarter, and I can see why it's been so loved for so long and yet been out of print.
Yeah, I feel like this.
All right, moving on to Botanists, pattern building, pattern recognition, and abstract strategy. This does not hit any of the keystrokes that I'm looking for, but maybe somebody else can
I like
the growing flowers
about it, and they don't really do a good job of telling us anything about it, unfortunately.
A lot of people are excited about it, though. 141. I mean, I've never been a fan of abstract stuff. I guess that's just not my thing. So
I went through a lot of the pre-orders last night to see what I wanted to buy personally, and it's like, could you tell me less about the game? Can you upload a picture? Can you give me anything? Give me something to go on. It's like, man, it's frustrating.
It's not like this is hard.
And this one has got a lot of pictures actually, so I'm looking at it now, and it looks very pretty.
It looks cool, but it looks like I'll wait.
Yeah. This is one of the few pre-order ones that does have pictures.
I like the art.
Yeah, no, looks good. Who's the designer?
Yeah, okay, those are good stickers.
Yep. Makes a huge difference. The night and day when he shows it side by side is
a crossfade between the two of them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Although I gotta admit, I'm still not that crazy about just this big yellow thing.
I painted mine. If you paint the actual area where you put the buildings green to make it look like grass, it looks a lot nicer.
Sometimes when you
it look like dirt or gray to look like stone. I mean, yellow doesn't look like anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think yellow offers up the highest amount of contrast.
Yeah.
So that's I mean I don't know the reason why, but I'm guessing that's the reason why. So
I mean, I suppose that's it.
Yeah, all the buildings are colorful. I don't know. I painted my whole setup, so it looks realistic.
So
I mean, we all
aside-
have our stories about our friends that have like I only play with this color. There's a guy in my group who only plays with yellow or tries to only play with yellow because he's a little bit colorblind, and it's just like it's the highest amount of contrast to the rest of the stuff on the board usually, and so he's able to pick it out easy.
So it looks like Aldi for botanist. It's her first game.
Yeah.
She's from Ireland.
Cool. Maybe it's the next Wingspan.
All right, now we're
Alrighty.
up to reprint of the classic Bus.
Never played it. I stood in line for an hour to get this damn game, and I never played it.
Why is this one?
When did you do that?
When it came out, and the original version was like 1999 or something.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
mean-
like the more
and
recent one.
it apparently is widely regarded as the first worker placement game. Right.
I never played it.
Yeah,
This was originally a slaughter game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is still Splatter, I think, right?
Still a slaughter game. Okay, never mind.
It just turned me on. I mean, I love Splatter, I love all their stuff, but when you get all your toys home from Essen and you get Bus, it doesn't look good. Right?
It also has a 7. Like its total is a 7, and it's been out for that long. Like, why are they reprinting it?
Because nostalgia.
They only
people that
did, like,
wanna
500
complete their
copies.
Splatter collection. Lots of different reasons.
They
And
did
7
very,
is
very
actually
cool.
really good. Actually,
Yeah.
it is
I mean,
literally.
it's
it's in the top.
It's better than all the things are 1 through 6.
I mean, some of these older games are getting reprints that are pretty good. And some people are just trying to reprint things for nostalgia.
All right, moving on. Snowdonia Deluxe Master Set. We've already kind of talked about Snowdonia, but it is. There's some guy like that does run through videos who thinks this is really good.
Who was quite keen on it, or so
Yeah,
he said.
He needs a haircut though, from what I hear.
Apparently,
Yeah.
he'll tell us.
Freshwater Fly. This is really good. I backed this on the old Kickstarter.
Yeah, I haven't
because
played it
Cold-
yet. We played
Yeah.
cold water 3 times, but never got to freshwater yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
I do want to point something out that I just realized. I was checking to see if 7 really was that good. Of all the games we've talked about, and I also have the expansions, 7 is the second lowest, behind only 6.9 out of every single game that we've talked about, which is probably about 100 now. So it's
I don't
just
think we-
it's odd they'd win. I don't know.
Aldi,
they
isn't
only
a
print
7
200.
average a fairly decent rating on
Yeah,
BGG?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but average.
yeah, but
It's
Are you
like
talking about
20
talking about
years
rated?
later, and you're like, yeah, let's bring this bitch
But
out.
it came out in such a small quantity, 20 years.
Yeah. And
Honestly,
It is literally an important historical artifact amongst board game aficionados.
and didn't we just talk
That's a good
about the 2 different hobbies? There's the collecting board games and the playing board games. So
right. I'm sitting here trying to hunt down an original copy of it right now.
I think I sold one last year for $10. I mean, because like it was the charity sale.
well, thank you, pal, for bringing us all down.
I'm sure they
Smoothies.
Yes, actually, if you look at the sale history of it, very good copies of it have sold for $250.
Oh well, someone got a good deal.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
not
well, that
at all
person
common.
wasn't
It used
me.
to average in the $150 to $200 range up until now.
Dice Rolling and Dice Smoothies from Ludanova. With your van full of fruit, you set to work making the healthiest and most scrumptious smoothies for your queue of thirsty customers. Throw your fruit, which are represented by dice, into blenders boxes, then choose the tastiest and juiciest combinations. The players who make the most and best smoothies wins.
I'm sold on that description.
It's another roll and write.
Must have.
I'm out.
I do like rolling and writing.
There's no writing.
I don't like them combined. I don't.
It's just rolling.
I enjoy
Rico
smoothies
riding?
in real life.
Dead to me.
Well, it doesn't have it, and if it is, I mean, maybe not.
In the roll and write game smoothies, you throw all the fruit into the blenders, the dice into the 2 boxes, and choose the combination for one of them that will work in your flavor. You must bear in mind that you can choose only one of the blenders, and the fruit that remains in the other will be available to your opponents. You get points for using each fruit a certain number of times for each client who tastes all the ingredients, and for using more oranges and lemons than the rest of the players. You lose points for each customer who you do not serve, and for saturating the blenders. The player who gets the most points at the end of the game will take home the victory.
$15. It's really nice artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing you kind of just throw the dice at the box, and what depending on where they land in which box, then you pick. So yeah.
We have spent a lot of time on this.
Seems interesting. Okay, moving on. Troya, area movement, civilization, and fighting. I know you're all up for this one, right, Richard? It has fighting.
I almost pre-ordered this because of the fighting, or not, but I stopped because of the fighting.
As Homer narrated in the Iliad, different Greek states that besieged the city of Troy for years as a punishment for the abduction of Helen of Sparta, but by Paris of Troy. Citizens of both sides made offerings to the deities to gain their favor in order to help or to hinder the heroes on the battlefield. It's for 2 players. Players alternate turns offering to a chosen deity. That is, they must discard 1 or more cards from their hand until the offering is equal or greater than the number next to that deity on the Olympus. And at least one of the offerings must match with the chosen deity. After the offering, the player gains the deity's favor, and so that player moves the deity to their chosen location on the Olympus, moving the other deities 1 position if necessary. A deity grants their special ability immediately. Each hero is related to 1 deity. This connection is symbolized with an offering, which is different depending upon the Greek or the Trojan side. The small offering represents the offering the opponent has on the other side. If at the end of the turn a player has 2 or more heroes in the opponent's protection area, can build the Trojan horse or advance Hector through the Greek ships. The Greek player wins in the game immediately if they finish the Trojan horse. The Trojan player wins the game immediately if they move Hector Paris token through the 4 sections.
So this
I really miss Keith right now. He'd make some sort of snide comment about how he doesn't give a shit about this game. We'd keep going.
Yep.
I mean, it's not doing themselves any favor with the art, in my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds cool though. There's no fighting in this game. I don't know why it's even listed.
Whatever.
I like how fighting is its own thing. Like, what's the top-rated fighting game? I wonder.
Right now, I want to know that.
War of the Ring.
Memoir 44.
Let's see. +6 bag of Munchkin Babes. Oh no, we got to rate the rank.
Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven Rebellion.
Fighting is a pretty.
Oh, this is
Right. It's a very generic.
Save the Meeples from Blue Cocker Games.
I was just looking at it.
I'm actually going to pre-order this because it's the designer of.
Hey, Lance, go ahead and pull John in. I got to get to bed. Good night,
I
everyone.
actually do like Blue Cocker Games.
I'll see you
Good
all
night,
next
everybody.
week.
Good night, Pete here.
See you, Pete.
From
It's
the designer
of Imaginarium.
Yeah.
I never played Imaginarium.
I do
I like it.
The Eternal War, the Meeple War, is over for a while now. The Meeples are free to live happily in their land. Note, its location is being kept a secret, as you surely understand. But that dream world is now troubled. Humans have discovered it and are kidnapping Meeples to force them to work in their board games. There are only 2 possible outcomes: fight the humans, as hard as that would be for the tiny Meeples, or build rockets and leave for a new and peaceful planet. Leading your Meeples, you will use trains that lead to different places in which you'll be able to enroll new Meeples, repair your wounded foes, acquire resources, build rockets, and fight humans. But be prepared, your glory will depend on the outcome of the end of the game. If the humans succeed in invading the Meeple world before you can escape with the rockets, the one who fought the best will be rewarded. If not, the one who helped the most escape will be. Choose your side wisely.
These are the same guys who did what was it? Medieval Academy and Welcome to.
The Medieval Academy is quite good.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I like Blue Cocker Games. They also did what was it? It had a weird name. It was like or Arg or something.
Save the Meeples is a worker placement game in which placement is disconnected from action. So you have to program your placement in a certain order, but you will take actions in reverse order. What's more, the winning conditions differ greatly depending on how the game ends under the control of the players, not by chance.
You know, I wasn't that interested based on the name, but now that I'm looking at a picture of it set up on the table, it looks really cool.
It's definitely got a lot of like toy value.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
I'm kind of
little trains, you know, like tugging things, a spaceship being built in the middle. A lot of 3D aspect to it. Yeah. I'll put down interested. All right, then we move on to Coffee Roaster. It's
a solo game.
Yep, solo game, deck, bag, and pool building, push your luck deduction, industry, and manufacturing.
Yeah, we sold a bunch of those back in the day.
An odd thing for them. I don't think they were going to start before.
It's a redo.
Oh.
Of Sashi.
Of what?
Sashi game. Sashi.
Oh, I see. Ah. Oh, hence Lance's response. Gotcha.
No.
We sold the best of these back in a few years ago when it came out.
Oh yeah.
I never played it though. I don't really solo play.
Oh yeah. Go on.
That's it. That's all I got.
Oh. All right. Well,
you were definitely channeling Francis McDormand from Fargo there. With those,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Were those natural, or were you putting on the accent?
No. I probably was.
It's all natural, Lance.
It's all natural. That is living in Upper Midwest for.
Oh, that is nice. That's like hearing Rodney say "sorry" instead of "sorry." I love it. I just sound like a West Coast newscaster, unfortunately. No
Edge of Darkness, blah. Ever hear who's the stand-up comedian? I can't think of it. Lewis Black, and he talks about being the easiest job in the world, being a weatherman in San Diego. Hey, we'll go to Lewis for the weather. Lewis, how's the weather going to be? Nice. Back to you. Faultier.
This is the German version for, it's like Fast Sloths, I believe, is the English name. And it is a race game where the sloths are trying to catch a ride on all the other animals that are moving around at different speeds with different rules.
Friedman Freeze, though. Ooh.
What's that? Friedman Freeze, yeah.
That has me intrigued.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a neat, clever little thing. Even when they don't work out, they're always neat and clever.
Yeah.
There's no randomness in this game.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. Well, there'd be randomness if, like, whether you pick the game up or not.
There's 256 combinations of racing.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so mathematical.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. La Stanza. Area movement, set collection, Renaissance.
Why does this look like a reprint?
It does look like. I mean, the name. It's like
the whole package.
It looks familiar. Yeah.
Like just even the name. I'm like La Stanza. This came out before, right? And like somebody was like, no, this is like a brand new game, and I was like,
it was on Kickstarter back in Feb, I think. I don't remember when I covered it.
And it's Nuno Centero and Paulo Soledad.
It's very light compared to what they normally do, compared to Madeira or Panamax. It is much more mid-weight, lightweight. It's a rondel game, basically.
Oh, I like rondel games.
Yeah.
Weight is listed as 3, but then that's definitely light compared to what else they do.
Yeah, and it's not a 3. That's people.
It only has I think it only has one rating.
Because it's definitely way lower than a 3. It's like a 2-point low something or other. It's also unfortunately quite ugly.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
don't say that lightly, but I normally.
I think they're using real art. It's like historical art.
Oh, yeah, but what's with that board?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's messing with my eyes.
There's a mix of like real artists' renderings and like cartoons.
Yeah, it's
Weird. Why would they
it's
do that? Or maybe it was just worker in like
Trying to make the board look like a 3D thing, and it is not working.
yeah, it's not going to get any Art of the Year awards.
God, that is so ugly.
Oh my.
That's not how I would put it, but yeah, kind of.
I'm zooming
I
in
like,
on
I
it.
like
too.
the 3D. I like the
8
3D
artists
thing.
worked on it.
Ugh.
It kind of reminds me of like South Park.
I like some of the rooms by themselves.
It reminds me of South Park.
Like what's? Yeah, it really does.
It does. Like each scene, like each room.
But it is a nice
no,
one.
no offense to anyone. Obviously, we're just messing.
Oh my goodness. Click at the go over a couple more pictures when you get the pictures of the different people. Like, wow.
Yeah, I know. Some
What
of it's
the
like
hell?
real art, and then some of it's cartoon.
Yeah,
It looks
I
like
think I remember them talking about
artists.
Are they trying to make a statement there?
Yeah, it was a conscious choice they made that the different things represent different famous artists, not in their make believe world.
Oh, okay. I can get behind that then.
Yeah, it's on purpose. It's not supposed to have a consistent look. It's supposed to be, this is clearly the work of our games universe version of Picasso or whatever kind of a thing.
Oh well, then yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah,
But
It doesn't look too bad. All set up on the table. It looks.
No, I'm looking at the thing all set up, and it looks kind of nice.
I don't know if we go that far, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like a euro. I mean, which is what it is, right? So
Which one?
La
it's
Stanza.
perfectly adequate looking.
Oh,
And the last picture is it on
I
a
was
staircase.
hoping we'd be off that.
Yeah,
way.
I was wondering why that. Maybe La Sterza. Okay, anyway. Walking in Burano. The English
That
edition.
came out at Essen last year.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, why is that listed
why is
here?
that-
I don't
oh,
know.
it's all
We'll move
direct.
on.
it's a each.
We'll skip the classic goodie box. We don't need to go through that.
What's in it this year?
Well, I
High
don't know.
school Emotep just won Leo Puerto Rico Emotep duel. Actually, that sounds really good.
There's only 5 things. Wow, only 6 things.
The promos, yeah, that's it.
I wonder what the just one is.
Marco Polo 2,
Yep. That's the
German
top 10.
edition.
I wish
I'm
this
like-
was order because I want to get it. Although, is it only German?
Only
Yeah, I
German.
mean Marco Polo was language independent, so I'm sure this will be too.
Yeah,
It's weird.
rules.
I don't know why they're calling it Marco Polo 2, because from what I see of it, it's kind of like it'd be the equivalent of calling Ticket to Ride Europe, Ticket to Ride 2 Europe, because it's basically the same game. They've just given a new board with different, special little rules and new characters. It could have been an expansion. And I think some people are wondering, well, will it be cross-compatible with the first one? In the same way, you might wonder the same thing about the Ticket to Ride series. So it's kind of odd, but still, Marco Polo is fantastic. So
There is no notes about language or an English rulebook yet.
It won't be.
oh yeah, well it's Hansen.
It's
Hansen
Hansen
are dicks. They don't care about English.
Well,
people.
they partner up, right?
Well,
If we mark the
Z-Man
second
probably
edition, this
will
makes me angry because
You wanted
it
to make
includes.
Ungettable game more valuable. You can sit
Well,
on your-
no, it's one of my favorite heavy games, but this version has like 6 tiles.
Yep.
But I have to buy
Oh,
this
does it?
game.
It has new stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So I'd have to buy this version of it to get those 6 tiles.
Wow. I am glad I sold my old one for a premium.
Oh, I like how they determine the second edition has 2 doves above the E.
Looking
You know,
at looking at the components, it's definitely language independent. Just need a rulebook. I'm looking at all the components. There's no
Oh yeah. I mean that was the same for original Marco Polo.
yeah.
I think
But
the
Key
only
Market
language
is
was
fantastic.
actually they put the characters' names on the cards.
I never
Right.
played this one.
You never play Key Market?
No.
Oh, it's
Patsy Wine.
great.
Yeah, really good.
Okay. Is it as good as
Key Flower.
Flower? Yeah.
I think it's better just because I think it's heavier.
I
Flower's pretty heavy.
Keyflower is really special to me, but I wouldn't argue against Lance's stance. It's a really, really good game.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why this game got forgotten about, but then Keyflower was like everybody just lost their minds over it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't take any. I think Keyflower is wonderful. I love Keyflower.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn down a play of Keyflower from anybody. But yeah, it was just weird to me. Little Town, that's out. You can buy it on Amazon right now. I don't know why.
It's Germany.
Okay.
It says
which this is a wonderful, wonderful game to and I think there was a Japanese version that came out in 2017. But this, I've played this with my daughter and my son, and we really, really like this. This is fun. So, and it says 10 plus. My son just turned 8, and he was able to grok it pretty well. So, cool. If you're looking for a game that will not bore you to tears and play it with your kids, Little Town is very, very good.
Does it remind you of that Tom Jolly game?
Looks like an easy thing to get the kids into. Just the art's cute.
Yeah. The art is extremely cute. And I mean, there's just, it's like, you just dispatch these little workers and you get to just do all the things that are fun, where, you know, it's like you can collect resources and grab the money, and then you get to build these little buildings, and you just get to watch this like town grow and build as you're playing. And so, you know, and it's just like, and then as you put the little buildings down, like other people can co-opt and use those buildings themselves too. So it's like, you're like, oh, thank you so much for building that. Now I'm going to go there and I'm going to use it. And you're like, oh, jerk. You know, just like, I didn't realize I was going to help you so much. You know, so that was like, and so it was kind of fun watching my kids kind of realize that, and like, you know, and actually, I'm going to build this. No, wait, I'm not going to do that. You know, just like I smiled when they, like, the first few times they were doing that. So anyway, moving on. Pharaon. I don't know anything about this.
Pharaon.
It is a nice resource worker placement type game where there's a central spinny thing. The workers you have to use to get into the different areas to do the different actions you're trying to do, you know, Euro style stuff, spins. So, oh, well, I don't have the workers I need to do this action this round. In 2 rounds, after this central disc spins, I will be able to do this action. But by then, the game's half over, you know, so that kind of stuff. It's good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they're doing the Zolkin gear thing, which I want Zolkin too. I want another Zolkin game with gears.
Yeah.
if the designers of Zolkin ever hear this, you heard it from me. Make another one. Do it. Do it now.
So let it be done.
Yes. Detective City of Angels. I mean, the Kickstarter, if you backed it, you've got it. So
it's a good game.
It's a good game.
Fantastic game. Pastally. You know, this game might be amazing, but again,
this came out at too.
Yeah.
I mean, this game might be amazing, but I can't get into abstract stuff. This
is a real brain burner.
Oh my god!
I like it.
I mean, you could sit here and take 20 minutes on your turn.
Right.
Yeah, if you have analysis paralysis or you try and min max, don't just stay.
But I could take 20 minutes on a turn in a game that I would love that actually has a theme, like Madeira, you know, and I would much rather do that.
To quote the Queen Bee, if you like it, then you want to put a theme on it. Come on. That's all.
Oh,
thank you. That was my little Weird Al Yankovic moment.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Have you said that before? Can we trademark
No,
that?
I literally just made it up. I'm just
right.
not good.
Wait.
If you like it, you
All right,
better put a
lost.
theme on it.
So that was a Weird Al Yankovic reference?
No, it's just that's what Weird Al does. He
He
takes
was
pop.
channeling Weird Al.
Okay, because Queen Bee, isn't that Lil Kim?
Beyonce.
No, I thought it was Lil Kim first.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard Little Kim referred to as Queen Bee, but I don't necessarily have my finger on the pulse like a preschool teacher.
Like Cheech does.
There's no way.
Lil Kim, Queen Bee, let's see.
Everything must stop.
The Queen Bee, Little Kim prepares for epic 2019 Hip Hop Awards performance. Little Kim, Queen Bitch, yeah?
Queen
Oh,
bitch.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Step
Yeah.
off,
I stand
Beyonce.
corrected. I stand
Little
corrected. I
Kim.
bow to your pop culture knowledge.
Well, here we go.
Kim,
Bargain Quest, a game of adventure and capitalism. Players take on the roles of shopkeepers in an adventuring town plagued by monsters. Players must draft items and then secretly choose which items to place in their windows to attract wealthy heroes to their shops. Once all heroes have been equipped, they venture out to battle against monstrous threats, earning money and prestige for the shop they represent. Throughout the game, players will encounter new heroes and monsters while upgrading their shops and hiring employees. Once the third monster is defeated, the players earn the most gold and prestige is the winner.
This is just second edition.
Isn't this one released in Europe with like a whole book of expansions?
Once again, this looks like it was probably published.
And for the record, Beyonce, the documentary on her is called Queen Bee. She is clearly the current Queen Bee.
The current.
Yes.
She's the reigning Queen Bee.
Yes.
The queen is dead. Long live the queen.
Lil Kim's queenhood. And if you talk about Queen Bee now, I mean, just do a search for Queen Bee, but just the letter B, not B-E-E. Queen Bee or Queen Bay is also a very, very common short for her.
Lance, Bargain Quest was originally self-published. This is the second edition.
Yes, this was picked up by
Renegade.
So we did a game night on this. It looks pretty fun.
It's not very good at 2.
Probably not.
That's fair.
2 in the morning, you're probably pretty tired.
Can you kill monsters with 2 players?
What's that?
Can you kill the monsters?
Yeah. It's just you just have to do less damage. You have to do damage, if I recall correctly, equal to the number of players.
Okay,
it scales fine, but the drafting was just kind of there's just nothing special about the drafting at all, and it worked okay. But it's so much of it is about competing to make sure you have the best stuff, and if you're only competing with one other player, it just becomes really kind of rote. And the drafting was just.
Right. Do you draft more than one hero in a 2-player game?
No, that is, to be fair, there is a special variant rule where you can actually have 2 heroes in the shop, and I didn't try that, and so maybe that would improve it. But after we played it with just the standard rules, we were like, I don't know if I really want to play this anymore. So just never tried it. But that probably would help, which means they should have made it the frickin' default.
Yeah. Because then you could, because otherwise there's 2 heroes that don't go. Do you still turn up 4 heroes? Or you only turn up 2 heroes?
This was months ago.
No worries. Yeah, so you're putting stuff in your store to attract the heroes, but the stuff that you put in your window, you cannot sell them.
That's correct, yes.
So you want your best stuff in the window, but then they can't sell it. They can't buy it. It's funny.
It looks like the type of thing that would scratch my 80s video game itch.
It reminds me of some video game, and I can't place it. But we also thought it was sort of like Clunker. Do you guys know Clunker? Uwe Rosenberg game where you put your jewels in the window.
Okay.
It's old. It came out right after Bonanza. All right, carry on. Eldorado.
Queen Bee.
Oh, no, we skipped a few there. Board Game Cafe Frenzy.
I know nothing about this. Auction being trick-taking. I'm a fan of trick-taking games.
Yeah. Trick-taking games never work well for 2.
Which I should mention, I just played. I can't even. What is that? It's from my former boss. The cats and the milk and the
TMG.
No, the game. I can't think of the trick-taking game.
1,000 Drunken Cats.
The Drunken Cats game. Why can't I think of the name?
You taught me that one wrong.
Festival of Cats.
No, I didn't. I didn't teach it to you wrong.
You did teach me wrong, because then I went back and I reread the rules, and I actually liked the way you taught it to me better than the actual rules. I mentioned in the review.
You were probably high when I taught you, and you don't even remember it right.
Irrelevant, sir.
So the art in this looks like what's that rolling game where you Katamari Damacy?
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Right.
Seja.
I'm looking at that one right now. The artwork is fantastic. It's a kid's game, but I don't even care.
But which one? The
Odyssea.
The pre-order includes a UFO add-on and a poster.
And it's completely language independent, and there are English rules, and the artwork is beautiful.
Yes.
I kind of just want the artwork. I know it's a kid's game, but I just want the art.
Oh.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
I just want the artwork.
Wow. That is wow.
It's a memory game.
Yeah, I mean it's for ages 5 and up.
Yeah, it's for
care.
kids.
Yeah, the
I
artwork
know,
is
for
pretty
kids.
spectacular.
If I brought this into my classroom, I got like 6 kids sitting around the table banging potatoes. That just pops off the table.
Yeah, and they already said there's English rules and it's completely.
Look at that brain in a jar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the hell is the container here?
Look at the
That's
cat
weird.
planet. I think I have to pre-order this actually.
The UFO expansion adds a 6th player. I'm trying to figure out like how large the container is for this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure out scale.
Yeah, everything. All the pictures they have are like real close up. Look at the polar bear.
Oh no, they got a picture with kids. This actually looks like it's pretty dang big, assuming that's the actual version of it.
I want a game for ages 5 and up. I don't care.
It looks like it's just a standard table. There's a picture with adults.
It looks larger than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, this looks really cool.
Totally pre-ordering this because that artwork is so cool. Look at the worm astronaut. Okay, neat. Who's the artist? These Russian?
Cadets, you've always thought that the unknown is far beyond humankind. Well, now it's not anymore because you have reached the most mysterious and wackiest planet in the whole universe.
The artist did the art for Blight Chronicles and Cartel.
Anybody excited about another Quest for Eldorado expansion?
Yes. Very much so.
Whatever.
Fantastic game. And this one, apparently, it's standalone, but it also mixes the other because now you can actually go inside the Eldorado that you're trying to search
We
for.
made it to Eldorado. Now what's inside?
Yep. You're down on Quest for Eldorado? What's wrong with you? I thought you were
crazy.
cool, man.
He's wrong.
What?
It's Lance, right?
I mean, it's a perfectly good game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually looking. I didn't see. It was Lance saying. I thought it was you.
No, I'm good with it.
Okay, cool.
I love Eldorado. I picked it to win.
Good man. Good man. It should have won. All righty. Now that has been established, we can continue.
Hey, just real quick, one of the artists for Odyssea also did the art for this War of Mine.
Okay.
Did a lot of that.
Nice. Cool. Spectacular.
What do you think? Should we just stop when we hit 100 thumbs?
I think that was my goal.
Yeah.
You know,
5 hours.
or we I mean, like I was trying to think. We got. I mean, that's another at least another 25 games. So maybe we'll stop a little sooner than that. I want to get to, but I really want to just gush about how excited I am about Western Empires. But
Well, then we got to get that far.
Yeah.
Well, we can just hit whatever we hit, and then we could just all scroll down really quick. And if anybody sees anything, they can shout it out. That'll take 45 seconds, and then we're done.
Yeah. All right. So, Razzia.
This is the one from Sophia Wagner that I mentioned earlier.
Over 400 less thumbs than the other
I
rat
know.
game.
So wrong.
Oh, poor rat.
Sophia's a good
Maybe people
designer.
were just confused and clicking the wrong one.
Yeah, there you go. That explains it. Anyway, I was
Hey,
very
Ollie, can
pleased
you
with
switch
Sophia's
those
last two
thumbs
games,
around?
so I'm down.
Down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Alice in Wordland.
3-player minimum. Next.
It's also a kid's game.
Kids
You're a
game
kid.
next.
I mean, Carousel looks good.
Carousel.
I'm sure it'd be fun. And that'd be in Draw Lab they do good stuff.
Right.
So party game, players take on the roles of the Alice in Wonderland. Oh, they have to follow the mad Queen of Hearts rules of discussion, saying words and particular things under the pressure of time. It's a word game, Scott.
What?
That doesn't mean anything.
Look, I think it looks cool. I just 3 players is normal.
The game includes a plastic music playing teapot timer. Every round is a discussion topic, and the forbidden letters have been chosen. The timer starts. Each player has to say a suitable word within their time limit. The longer each player stays in a round, the more points they are awarded. This game sounds like a hoot.
Wow.
It looks cool. I just always
play
play anything with a minimum
Project
3.
Elite.
Moving on to Carousel.
Carousel looks cool.
Or Carousel. I don't know. It's weird. I've never seen it spelled that way.
Carousel.
I have to admit, I don't know how to spell carousel if push came to shove.
Doesn't it have like a
Carousel. Carousel.
Carousel was invented in Western New York. I think that it should be spelled.
Are you remembering some initials, trivia facts?
My wife's from Western New York, so like we've seen.
My wife mentioned to me today. She said just before I was coming down here, she's like, "You haven't played initials in a long time," and I was like, "I know." She's like, "Why not?" Because they hate it.
Well, only when Anthony was playing.
And she says, "You guys stink." So
I would play initials again. Okay, well, Carousel.
As I watched the I actually I don't think he's put it up yet, but I watched Tom Vassel's video of it, and it looks really surprisingly deep and puzzly, because it's one of those, there's a carousel, and on this turn this quarter of the carousel is in front of me, and I can put stuff on, I lay tiles on it, and then the whole carousel is going to rotate 9 degrees, and next turn it'll be in front of Lance, and now he's trying to put stuff on it, and you're trying to set it up so that I need to get things like in 3 of the quadrants in the same spot, but other players are blocking those spots because we all have access to the same sections as the board keeps spinning around. So it looks like it could be cool. His complaint was that it's way too thinky and puzzly for how light it should be, because it should be a very light, fluffy game, and it seemed incompatible to him.
Carousels are light. Yeah.
Technically, the word carousel means little battle in Spanish, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Flotilla.
This game looks really cool.
It looks like Brink, the board game, actually.
I
mean, that could be concept art from my last video game I ever made.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm biased.
Was it a sorry, go ahead, Robert.
I'm biased because it's JB and Mike, so.
Was Brink like Waterworld?
Brink was this same basic idea that there's a motley collection of stuff all just glommed together, and there's not enough room and resources, and there's a civil war.
Gotcha.
How'd Brink do, by the way?
Break my heart.
We've had this conversation.
You mean Brink your heart?
Yes. It was. I suspect it will be viewed someday as ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But it was too soon. The world was not ready for Brink.
Too much too soon.
I can remember walking into GameStop or GameSpot or whatever, and I remember just seeing banners of Brink all over, and it was just
Bethesda's marketing took really good care of us. Bethesda's QA department fucked us in the ass.
You still sold 2.5 million copies.
Yeah.
I mean, Cry Me a River. Like we sold like 100,000
because our servers were not up to the task, even though Bethesda's QA told us they were, and so it had 1 week to hit, and it missed, and so everybody immediately forgot it. Even though we had more awards for the 2 years of development than any other game in the industry, from everybody who had actually played it, every review, every convention. When we took that thing to conventions, people waited in line for 2 or 3 hours to play. After they played, they would get right back in line a second time. I'm sorry. I'm really proud of it. And it's one of my greatest regrets.
2.5 million copies is
I think fuck you, Bethesda.
That's where you met Neil Alfonso.
Yes, Neil and I worked on it. Yeah, Neil was my number 2.
I was sad to see him leave 3D Realms.
Neil is a cool cat.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. There you go. All right, Human Punishment Social Deduction 2.0.
More of a bang social deduction game than a true like social deduction game, but still very fun.
More bang, less resistance.
Yeah, there you go. So if
Human
you,
machine or-
but it's somewhere in the middle. You know, it's not flat. You know, that one way. So, you know, read into that what you will.
It won Popular Mechanics, one of the best new board games.
Yeah, I mean it is very fun.
I actually just got the Kickstarter. I don't think I have enough people to play it.
Yeah, it is one of those things where you have to have quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few people. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Kapai, rolling right.
Robert loves rolling right.
It's Maori tribes.
Yep, needs a theme. If you like it, then you should have put a theme on it.
Yeah.
That is my new anthem.
Is that
Maori
little
tribes.
Cam?
What's that?
Maori
Hello,
tribes, not
Cam.
enough. Okay, go. Talk.
We've made it. And we're at Medieval Realms.
Medieval Realm.
Medieval Realms is quite good.
Tell us about Medieval Realms.
Quick question: does Gloomhaven have an expansion planned that they've announced?
Gloomhaven has already released an expansion. And yes, another expansion is coming, although it functions as a standalone game.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling stupid Gloomhaven. That's the dumbed down one, right?
Target exclusive.
It's not at all. Actually, it is 100% Gloomhaven, but it basically has a standalone campaign that the first 5 missions you play, they turn on features one after another after another. And by the time you've played through those tutorial missions, you're in full Gloomhaven mode.
Cool.
So they basically just have a tutorial mini campaign.
All right,
It's
Lance,
my understanding.
give us some.
So
Medieval
Medieval Realms, I did a video for this quite a while ago, and this was from Carlos, who his first, if I remember right, God, I'm trying to remember his first game.
Well, we have a
was
way to
like
find it.
his first game was this game called The Orc Father, which was really cool, but everybody kind of forgot about it. It was just this weird fantasy themed kind of a little bit of like a Citadel type game.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it was fun. So then and then he came up with this one called Medieval Realms, which is more of a straightforward Euro. You secretly place out your specific workers onto your board. So you have you have generals and admirals and mayors, and depending upon where you put them on your board and where other people have put theirs, when you reveal them, you will kind of have different area control type of things where you deciding who gets which resources and things like that. And then depending on the resources you get, you then can use those resources to take, there's a row of cards, just like you've seen a tableau, and then you'll take those and you'll build up your medieval realm. I really liked it because of the fact that you had to kind of outguess what the other people were doing. And I always like games like that. That I'm like, oh, I bet he really wants that, and so then you need to figure out, because certain workers will be worth more. If you have admirals, they're worth more for obviously sea-based things and things like that. But it doesn't mean you can't use a mayor in that spot. It just the admirals have more weight to them, and so very good, very fun.
Is it like Nations at all? Because it
No.
has a drafting.
Well, yeah, I mean, but no,
No?
I wouldn't say it's anything like Nations.
Okay.
But yeah, I very fun game. I really liked it. Atelier, the Painters Studio. Has this been out already?
No.
I just feel like it's been out. I don't know.
It might have come out of Gen Con. It's AEG. But I don't think it has.
Okay.
Because we don't have a video for it. It was probably not a Gen Con. I really don't know anything about this.
I don't know anything about it either.
They sent it to Nightstar. They didn't send it to me, so I don't know.
Well,
Carnival of Monsters looks cool. It's a Richard Garfield game.
Carnival of
yeah, that does look cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Eric did a preview video, and it looked really cool.
Yeah.
No? You
Carnival of Monsters answers the age-old question, what would you get if the designer of Magic the Gathering made a drafting game?
Okay.
And complete with mana screwage.
Oh.
And there are land cards.
Yeah, complete with not getting enough land cards or getting too many land cards. And things work out okay.
It is very. That is
How
a
does that
very
happen in a
accurate
draft game?
description of the game.
What?
How does
There's
that
a
happen?
very accurate description of the game.
You played it? Yeah, It's really like Magic the Gathering. It's absolutely brilliant, except it's just crazy fragile.
Yeah.
So I was kind of excited for the next game, Escape Pods, because it's all about like, oh, you need to escape from this ship that's blowing up or whatever. And I thought that it was gonna have like, oh, you can like do like screw job things where, you know, like, oh, wait a minute, that escape pod's not full. Yeah, we'll see you later. You know, and just like, yeah, but no, it looks like you don't really get to be mean in the game, but though it is competitive, not cooperative. So I was excited, and then I was less
The guy
excited.
goes into the escape pod and sits on the bear and tries to get the bear's claws to latch.
Yes.
It's a good movie. Am I the only one that gets this reference?
No, I know it.
Thank you, Aldi.
Yeah.
Come on. The rest of you need to go watch Spaceballs tonight because you are letting everybody down. Spaceballs is the best.
I mean, I've seen it a million times. I got the reference.
It's the best.
Search escape pod scene, Spaceballs. It's there.
Hey, get your own pod.
Yes.
Bear.
Classic moment.
Yep.
Freak.
Right.
Good. Thank you.
Next.
All right. Letter Jam. I love Letter Jam.
Yeah.
I wanted to love
It's a
it.
word game, Lance.
It just made me feel too stupid. I have not felt as stupid in a long time as I did when I was trying to play Letter Jam.
Now, are you playing 2 players?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think part of the goodness of that game is the higher player count and everybody
I can totally see that. Yeah, totally. I think it does a good job, though. I mean, I think the 2-player scaling is fine, but if anything, it's probably easier because you have to be even more clever with more players to come up with clever words that help a lot of people instead of just only helping one person. So
you also
probably make me feel even stupider.
You also have to like worry about how much information the other people have.
But why? Why do you feel stupid? Just because you can't?
For sure, it would make you feel more.
I would just stare endlessly and say, "Okay, there's just no word in the universe that I could possibly do right now." And I'd eventually give up, and Jen would say, "How about this word or this word or this word?" off the top of her head.
Right.
And by the same token, she would do a thing, and I'm like, "Okay, there's literally no word in the universe. No dictionary has a word that." And then she says, "Oh, it's this one." I'm like, "Oh." My brain just couldn't do it.
That would be me and Annie.
I ended up doing was writing down all the letters on the paper and then kind of just doing jumbles. It's easier to see it when it's right on the piece, like because you're looking at all these letters that are in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that, I don't know.
Yeah,
that helped me.
It was really clever, but
okay.
I'd rather just go play paperback. I think,
right,
which makes me feel smart.
Mystery House. I need to pick this up. I'm just like I said. I'm worried about how many times you're going to need to play it because once you're done with like the 2 or 3
scenarios,
3 scenarios. Undoubtedly, they're going to make more, but yeah, I'm just.
Hopefully, they fix the problem. There was a problem.
Yes.
Version.
There was there was like the spot or whatever didn't have exactly like basically the answer that they needed wasn't supplied to you.
Right.
So
production problem.
But I'm sure they'll fix it.
Design idea.
So here we have Offshore, which it sure sounds interesting, but there is like very little information about this.
Yep. It's got 2 pictures, the front of the box and the back of the box. Yeah, believe me, and it's Christian Otsby.
Oh.
Christian Admonson.
Oh my gosh, look at that. It's the co-designers of the
So
Yeah.
it sounds like it would be very, very cool, but it's also like,
What do you think these guys like? What do you guys think these guys? Do? I mean, what goes through their head? We're gonna make a game. We're gonna print 10,000, whatever thousand, and we're gonna show up to Essen, and we're gonna put it on the shelf, and you buy it. Like that's what they're doing.
It might work.
It might work, just based on their reputations.
yeah.
But I'm tempted.
I love the cover art.
Pre-order
I love
button.
that. I love the look of that.
Like, actually, no, they don't have pre-orders. Oh, they do.
Yggdrasil Chronicles.
Yep. Skipping Dead Man's Cabal.
It's
Has anybody played that?
It looked very
A
unspectacular.
while. I mean, 3 months. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they made their big splash for it. I mean, it was just like one of those things where it's like, why did you go black and white art? I didn't understand that.
Well, even the table appeal, like I saw it set out at Gen Con.
I heard a comment. Someone said it's the most interesting game they've ever played. It has a very interesting mechanism. Most unique. Has anybody played it?
No.
Huh?
It's been sitting there. I haven't played.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
No video. Oh, there's a video.
Oh, and the thing, Manchuku is like ending in like 24 hours. Is that worth getting?
Yes.
Does anybody know anything about it?
Richard, I think, did a preview.
Richard is no, he
I
wandered
believe
off.
it's Jason Muhan.
Yeah.
I think he was telling me Rado had a good preview, or maybe it was Dice Tower. I don't remember which one of the two.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence on it.
Isn't it? We're in a weird world where you have to make a decision within 30 days of whether or not you ever want a game. Like, it's so frustrating. You have to commit.
It looks neat, but I don't know. But how many times have I said, "Oh, that game looks neat"? You know, but then it's just like, and then I've got giant. I have piles of games over there where I'm like, "Well, it looks neat," you know.
Yeah.
That I haven't been played once, so I should just listen. I should listen to my head and just say nope, because if I don't get it, I won't even know. You know what? I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna close it right now. I've talked myself out of it.
Actually, how do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Manchukuo.
Lance, have you back time to Legends Destinies?
I am gonna do that one because I think my son
Yes.
would really like it.
Yes, he will. My 6-year-old was smitten. I think it's an amazing family game, amazing solo family experience. Oddly enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one. All right, so Yggdrasil Chronicles looks like they're gonna do like the Yggdrasil thing again. I liked Yggdrasil back in the day. Azul Summer Pavilion. That's more Azul. I'm sure it'll be amazing.
There's less buzz about it this year.
Yep.
I wonder if
Mental Blocks. That game I've heard it's super tough.
I played the first level and we couldn't figure it out. Level 2. We played the intro and then we went to level 2, I guess, and we sat there for half an hour arguing about. Just some people can't get it, right? Like they just don't know spatial analysis. They argued with me, and I'm like, I don't know what to say because I don't want to keep arguing about it. Like I can't convince you, so I can't explain you you're wrong, right? Because they didn't believe it. And then we built the stupid thing, and he's like, "Yeah, you were right." I'm like, I know, but like, how do you explain that when someone is saying I'm wrong? It got into a real, like, almost like little salt going on at the table. Like, I'm believing what you think you're saying, but I'm just telling you, I know. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird gaming experience.
Okay. And
I think we were just frustrated with it. And we put it back on the shelf. So, but I want to play it again. I really do.
PAX Transhumanity. I've heard this will be
PAX Transhumanity. Yes. Oh man, we skipped a bunch of stuff. All right.
We just kind of glossed over some things. I've heard this might be one of the more approachable
Yes.
Phil Eklund games.
Well, it's not Phil. It's Matt, his son and co-designer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, of all of them, this is the one I want to play the most because I'm really just have a personal, strong connection to the theme of like, post-scarcity, perfect human future society, and getting to build that.
Yeah.
But I've been burned too many times by the Eklunds. I just can't do their games.
I remember picking up
writing the manual for this. Then just no, dead on arrival.
No,
They
I remember
people
getting
to write their manuals for them.
His I can't think of the name now. The space exploration game of his.
High Frontier.
I remember being so excited to play that, and then I got it, and I remember and I was like, oh god, my head hurts. And then when I finally was able to badger my way through a play session of it, I was just like, I didn't feel like I played a game. I just felt I played like some simulation of I was just going through a computer program basically. It was yeah, and which then I realized, well, that was the point, right? It wasn't trying to be
I pre-ordered this actually.
Yeah.
After playing PAX
Premiere
Second Edition, which I think was worked over. It was worked over by Cole Early, and was it with Matt?
I think so.
It's so good.
Yeah, PAX Premiere is really, really
It's
good.
so good.
So, all right, and then we're gonna end for today, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow.
Wait,
I pick it up on Wednesday.
Two more.
We're almost at 100.
I mean, you got to go to 100. Or
come on, man.
Actually,
All right. Well, Western
more.
Empires. It's basically the first advanced Civ without the other map.
Right.
And then they're gonna do another one after this, so you'll be able to combine the two. I played my Mega Civ. I love my Mega Civ, and this seems like this is more of the same. And yeah, I'm in.
High-Rise, yeah, High-Rise. High-Rise is Gil Hovo's game.
Yep, I played that at what convention? I played that with Gil, but I really liked it.
Yeah, it's
Origins,
really good. Good SimCity game.
Yep,
He puts
very,
a
very
lot of thought into his games.
Yeah, that TV Networks game.
Oh, Networks.
Networks? Oh, so
Networks is in my top 20. I mean, just so good.
Yep.
And then Idis Marty.
Marty. Idis Marty.
Idis Marty.
Smart.
Memory team-based game. Something about bluffing.
Card game deduction and negotiation. That's awesome.
Idis Marty.
Oh, it's I'm the Smarty is what it is, right?
No, Idis Marty.
I know Idis Marty.
Are we mentioning any games under 100 that we're excited about? Was that what we're talking about?
We'll pick that up. We'll pick that up next Wednesday with the under 100. According to Plutarch, a seer had warned that harm would come to Caesar no later than the Ides of March. On his way to the theater of Pompeii, where he would be assassinated, Caesar passed the seer and joked, "The Ides of March are come," implying the prophecy had not been fulfilled. Which the seer replied, "I, Caesar, but not gone." Players and members of the Senate must plot in favor or against the magnacide of Julius Caesar, but it is not that easy, as they need to identify who shares their convictions in order to partnership against the other players while keeping an eye open for those who only look for their wealth. There are 4 roles that are dealt every turn. The consul takes the decision of who will play in the active round and distribute the rest of the roles. And there are 2 aedles who will vote secretly if Caesar will live or die. At last, the praetor will decide to sneak a peek at one of the 2 votes and can force that aedle to change their vote. Once all the players have voted twice, they reveal their votes and check if Caesar lives or dies. The decision is not that easy. At the end of the game, players will take on 2 different cards of their team in favor, against, or to be neutral in the magnacide, and they must discard one of these cards before the second round of votes take place in order to choose their final team.
I don't think I could be any less interested in this.
It reminds me a little bit of der Zum Teufelsberg or whatever, the mad coach ride to the devil's castle, which had everybody was in the stage, like you're in the coach and you're all part of either one of two secret societies, and you don't know, and you're trying to basically decide, like, and the people in the coach, there were these, and this is fantastic game. It was just basically a deck of cards. And basically there are 3 items of power, and if at any point all 3 of the secret society people like if your secret society members have those 3 items in their possession, and one person in your secret society declares that, hey, we win, and then you turn them over. If they're right, they win. If they're wrong, they lose. And so like this kind of reminds me a little bit of that, because you were never quite sure who was on your team and not, because you play different cards to force cards to be, exchanged back and forth. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But yeah, this looks weird. It looks like, okay, I'm going to say this and then we'll wrap up here. But sometimes, like, you have games like this where it's like, oh, I don't know what team you're on, or the subterfuge here is so thick, I can't figure out, who can I trust. And that's cool, but if it's so difficult to figure it out, games like this can just be like not fun at all, because it just becomes down to a luck bag of like, oh, did I guess right or not? You have to allow the players enough information that they can make a very good deduction of what's happening. And so I always worry about sometimes, like in descriptions of games like this, where it would be like almost impossible to kind of determine that. So who knows? Who knows indeed. But
so I'm not going to be here next week. I'm leaving. So can I mention one game, sub 100?
I will allow you to choose one game.
Magic Maze on Mars.
What?
Magic Maze on Mars.
Magic Maze.
I'm surprised that's not getting more thumbs.
I know, it's so low. It's like Magic Maze is awesome. It's not that.
What number is it?
It's not.
It's what?
I'm also really excited about the Magic Maze expansion with the hidden trader role. I think that'll be really
Paris New Eden is fantastic, and that's only on 90. What's Magic Maze on Mars? What number is
96. 96.
Yep, we were only a few away from reaching Aldi's ultimate goal.
So you're basically in control of a robot, and you can only do like the thing that's printed on your card, and then you're building domes. So it's not. I can't really tell what the tiles look like, but
it's got nice art.
It looks cool.
It is fun art.
Hey, Richard, what did you think of Sarah's vision?
I'm sorry, I was just swallowing. What was the question?
No. Just since we're not going to get to it, what did you think?
We don't care. Sorry, I should mute that.
Hi.
Mailing labels.
How can I help you? What was the question?
I said, what did you think of Sarah's vision?
Sarah's vision was designed by a group of insurance adjusters that were trying to make a team building exercise for their company. And after they were done, they thought, hey, it's pretty good. We should publish this as an actual game. And it shows its origin, which is to say there is some neat stuff. The idea of a cooperative Jenga game is a neat idea, but it's really rough as an actual cooperative game. It's basically a solo game. There's nothing cooperative about it at all. Oh my gosh, thinking about it now, the design choices that were made on that show a complete and total lack of understanding about what makes a cooperative game work. And it makes sense because they were trying to make a team building exercise. They were trying to create something that would get teams to avoid alpha leader syndrome. So the entirety of Sarah's vision is something that encourages alpha leaders. And then you're supposed to take it in your boardroom and train people not to do that thing that the game encourages them to do. That's literally what happens with that game.
All right, knocking that down.
Clearly designed to be a solo Jenga thematic co-op. Or a solo game, and there's no rules for anybody having their own sense of agency. You have cards, and I have special use cards, but anybody can play anybody's cards on anybody's turn. So there's no functional difference between you and me playing as opposed to 5 people playing. It's just some really ridiculous stuff. The the quality of the components are really nice, and it could have been a really good game if they would have, hey, we have a great idea. Let's take this to a established game publisher and have us work with an editor, because there were just things that they did not understand that a co-op game needs.
Gotcha. Well, that's disappointing.
Good building blocks. But
Well, and with that,
all right.
so same bad time next week.
How would we be able to continue? Because the thumbs will have changed and stuff, right? We'll just kind of wing it.
It won't change.
Ooh, we can even see what's risen. See if anything's cracked the top, whatever the hell.
Oh yeah, yeah. What that?
We can see if the 2 rat games have reversed.
Ooh.
I will start working
All
on
right.
my rat campaign.
I thumbs up a 97 game, so it might crack by the time we get there.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
I'm
Plug your
thumbsing up
Kickstarter,
the
John.
99 game right now, and now it's 100.
Nice.
What does that mean? Does that mean we have to cover it, not cover it? And I'm confused. I broke the system.
Just don't click refresh, and nobody needs to know.
Johnny Rotten,
Yeah, buddy.
plug your Kickstarter.
Oh, thanks. I'm really excited to celebrate the new year 2020. I make dice, so I figured we should make 20-sided dice that say 2020 on the 20 face and jam a bunch of glitter in it.
Sweet.
It's just happiness in dice. They're going to be limited edition.
Glitter dice?
They're gorgeous, and we literally funded during the show tonight, mostly thanks to Aldi.
Woo!
So go back in. It's called 2020 glitter dice. They're gorgeous.
I'm on it right now.
Hey, Lance,
Okay,
Thank
what?
you.
plug the cardboard caravan
Well, that too.
because it has direct mail. You don't
It's
have to
live
go to
now?
BGG.
You don't have to go to BGGCon. That's true.
No, you have.
You don't
direct-
have to be there.
Yeah.
You can get stuff sent to your door
That's right.
from the fine folks at Fun Again Logistics, the best fulfillment company in the
Board
business.
Game Geek.
No bias. No bias.
It was a great plug.
Cool.
No, yeah, you go to BoardGameGeek.com, click on the Essen list like we were just going through. If you see the green pre-order button, that means you can pre-order the game. It means you don't have to go to Essen. If you happen to go to BGGCon, you can pick up your games there, and you can play them at the best convention in the world, BGGCon, home of the Glasscock.
Can't buy it. Well, then we're in a new hotel.
Well,
We have to find a new room.
yeah, we do. But yeah, there you go. And make sure you pre-order early, pre-order often.
It is,
When you pre-order,
pricey,
check it
but you're going to get the games in like literally weeks after Essen.
And there is a fair to middling chance that the games themselves will be touched by these hands, because I'll be
Oh,
racing around Essen and stacking them up.
That's
So-
a friend.
Okay, you want people to actually buy them,
It's gonna be a
not.
draw for some, but
You don't
But I
get,
feel like
you don't get a
pre-order should
discount.
be down right now.
wash your hands first, Lance. All right.
Everybody's so funny.
Wait till you see the co-ed toilet, Lance. I'm going to show it to you. It's wonderful. I'm like,
I'll be in there all day long
why did they make a co-ed toilet?
because it's Europe, baby.
Oh yeah, believe me.
Wait,
I
Lance, you haven't been to Essen, have you?
No,
Oh, wait till you see the vending machines in the bathrooms.
Oh yeah, well, in the train station.
And don't do what I did. I actually bought some
You're
gifts
right.
in there I gave to meetings. Don't do that.
What was the one that we found?
Keep your backpack close.
Yeah,
Put
it
your
was
wallet
something
inside of a zipper pocket.
something daddy. What was the name of that thing?
There was some weird stuff in those
There's weird
bathrooms.
stuff in the toilet or in the trains.
couldn't tell you.
Well, it was something called something daddy, and it's a funny name, and I don't know what it was, but it's a pregnancy test you buy in the vending machine.
Oh well.
Well, I mean, you know,
Next to the candy bar, you got the pregnancy test.
that's awesome.
Mints?
Yeah.
Do I want a Milky Way, or do I want to know if I'm pregnant?
Why not?
Hmm.
There's some things
Decisions.
that will happen to you in a train in Germany. Usually, it's not. Usually, it's not stealing your virginity.
Paul, I'm not sure toilet fun in Germany is a sentence I wanted to read in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave Monday,
Awkward way to end the show.
Yeah,
today.
I can't imagine better.
Oh,
go
the end
out
of
on.
this is always a shit show. Lance just lets it sit here, and we all just awkwardly do nothing for like 2 or 3 minutes. It's spectacular.
pee on the stick, then use it like Fun Dip. What is happening in the YouTube chat?
He didn't used to do it on YouTube either. When it was YouTube chat, he would there'd be a clear and concise cutoff. But ever since we went to this weird duck thing, he just lets it sit at the end, and I love it. It's just so awkward and quiet.
I have a question for some people if we were still talking. Who's watching Breaking Bad movie on Friday?
What?
The Breaking Bad movie coming out Friday. Netflix. You guys know about it?
Is it a prequel? Is it an after?
It's an after. It's a Jesse Pinkman story.
It's the ongoing adventures of Jesse Pinkman.
We're still 2 seasons away.
But what's his face is? I mean, he must be in like flashbacks because spoilers.
I don't know. I don't think they've said if he's in it or not. Bye, Forrest.
Oh, it's the title, Jesse Pinkman.
All right. Well, we're gonna go. So I'm gonna hit end broadcast so I can go to bed.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
See you guys in Essen.
Better Call Saul is the best show on TV, so it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, Better Call Saul is awesome.
So and it's from the same team. It's from the same showrunners. Just everything.
Yeah.
He has
all right.
more to tell.
I will. When do you leave? You leave on Monday for
I leave
Essen?
on Wednesday. I'm leaving in basically a week.
Why so early?
Because I'm going to London. Got to get some jam. Get some Indian food.
3 minutes, Lance. You got to click end broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still live.
And